According to God, the white man is the devil.
See, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above what they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this white man. Stop the ass shit. Give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe. Nigga gotta stand up and say, my God, we'll pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. Everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that bike on me. Stop the ass shit. Promise. My niggas serious. When they hit us with dope and kill us with crack, where the fuck with your leaders? I'm curious. You cashed out on your blood, traded you in and bought a new beast. Ask you the prophets, I tell you the scheme. If you wake up, you gon' die in your dreams. I say you won't tell you no more. I swear these crackers try to kill us slow. Just spoke to a nigga and fed he up on parole because of the COVID. It feel like the host in this world that don't go together. Nowhere is gold in the ghetto. I'm in the city blazing with my niggas. Just told the devil the score never settled. Yeah, see the prophets. I'm tired of these niggas.
Rise no more. Babylon is falling. Babylon is falling. Rise no more. Rise no more. Babylon is falling. Babylon is falling. Rise no more. Rise no more. Falling, 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 falling. Rise no more. Rise no more. Fight for your house, child. Fight for your house, child. Round to go. Round to go. Babylon is falling. Babylon is falling. Rise no more. Rise no more. Falling, 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 falling. Rise no more. Rise no more. Babylon is falling. Babylon is falling. Rise no more. Rise no more. Babylon is falling. Babylon is falling. Rise no more.
Jesus Christ had a warrant, nigga. Yeah, I'm just playing. Yeah. I'm tired of living here like a slave while rappers without a proper some talent been getting paid. I'll make complete disbelief in the state of the game. It's like you gotta be a half a faggot just to get paid, and that's so lame. But this is Lost Tribes, nigga, so remember the name. These rappers buried alive like Undertaker and Kane. And then I'm coming back just to cremate your remains. So if you can't take the heat, then step back from the flame. You got a lot more to lose, man, it's something to gain. Cause I will drop a nigga out like he ain't fit in the frame. You think you fly, I'm not your hands out the sky like a plane. That's all the way to violation. Showing no mercy like a cop with a taser. Shock when I talk like my song is a razor. Lyrical gladiator, rap assassinator, verbal manipulator.
It's important for me to graduate Hebrew Academy so my brothers can see the strength that can pull them out from the hell, the condition that they're in.
Like being the only nigga who's walking inside the matrix. It's the auto rap and the rules of engagement. The game needs changing, I'm here to rearrange it. If I want to take it back to the basics.
Deliver the scroll! Deliver the scroll! Faster! 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 Deliver the scroll! Deliver the scroll! Faster! 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 Deliver the scroll!
Until it's time to us to come a murder from the pavement and then leave a hole in the game so big they can't behave it. These close my heads like this was limbo. Get these rappers in the yard beating them like a Kimbo. I'm riding with my kinfolk, follow my methodology. Black and blue opponents face like cosmetology. I issue no apologies coming for rapper salaries. My team runs shit like we out here burning calories. Bring a tear to your eye, lie, you say it's allergies. But it's cause the flow out this world touching the galaxy. Niggas rapping like girls, they ain't follow my policy. I was raised in the era, we had to rap reality. Had to really live this shit was my mentality. Now the game flooded with fakes and they crowding me. Better not cross that line, watch a boundary. I.S.U.P.K soldier, but rapping is like a hobby. Lions and wolves with me, roll the dice on Jumanji. Rappers say they own their job, but not Harley. If you ain't got no job, man, you like Tommy. I know cats let that full ring like Audi and leave their head all wrapped up. like a Saudi. But I ain't never been no killer, no armed robbery. I just like to move down squares like Monopoly. Now I don't smoke no more, lungs, they work properly. I don't even push no pills, I push prophecy. Respect this aristocracy, giving rappers lobotomy. When I'm spitting, I hear them niggas getting their glossary. Check the wordplay, realizing ain't nothing stopping me. Your only option be when I'm round nine, acknowledge
It's
me.
all about you and get it. Let's finish it. All out. 91 songs. Get it out.
You got it. Hey. Come get his leg. All right, good job.
Let's go. Come on.
Right here.
Deliver your scroll. Deliver your scroll. Let's go. Let's go. Bring your brother home. Bring your brother home. Bring him home.
Come on.
And under his wings shalt thou trust.
That's what you went through this trial for. You went through this trial to be covered by Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, our power. You understand?
That's right.
Now
Okay.
you were covered in the spirit of the Lord. We walking in this body and going to do amazing work. You brothers, man, fought through a lot to get to this point. Every man can't make this. But boy, oh boy, what you went through to make this is just insane that you was able to do it. Go ahead,
Count out of Wakar, the book of Psalms, chapter 91, verse 5. Thou shalt not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day.
From this day on, brother, whatever you feared before you came through this trial, you fear it no more. From now on, you put your trust totally in the Most High, the power given to me by Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua. In the I.S.U.P.K, I hereby declare you official priest of the Most High Power. Barak.
Who's the power? Who's the power? Who do we fear? Who do we fear? Who's your king? Who's your king? What's your name? Israel. God, give a time.
Congratulations, warriors. Congratulations.
We're about to present the class of 2022 Hebrew Academy to Commander General Yahanna for the blood of my brothers. The men you see before you are the men who's given the privilege to teach these men and instruct these men under Commander General Yahanna's strict tutelage. You understand? In warfare, in spiritual warfare. All right? We're going to bring these brothers in, show them some love before the angels. You brothers dismissed. Let's go! Fight for your outside! Let's go! Babylon is falling! Babylon is falling! Rise no more! Rise no more! Rise no more!
Go get her, big stepper, hard body, one West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified one West hitters, whoa. Go get her, big stepper, hard body, one West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified one West hitters, whoa. Yo, what you say? No, we don't play you out, yo.
What's your name?
Watch what you say.
Hebrew Academy class of 2022. Listen to my command. Right time. Saw. The mighty Shabbat. Imagine if I could. These brothers went through almost 8 months of cruel, rigorous mental training. And these brothers want to give you something, so. The men with the gift of tribute, one rank in front of the stage. Move, move, move. One rank. Or go on the cross. Bob up. Come to the right side of the stage. Officer can lock us out. Present Commander GEN.YAHANNA with the first gift of tribute. To the right side of the stage. If I may, sir, this is a Savage bolt gun, 308. Yes, sir.
The water argument, the water. I see y'all know what I like. Water.
Next gift. Next gift. Let's go. Oh, y'all go line up on the other side with the gifts. Line up on the other side. Let's go.
As you look around you and you see every one of these brothers, you sloppy. Oh, wow. Oh, man. This is beautiful.
If I may, this is handcrafted forged steel from Officer Amanga Ball out of Minnesota. This is work right here.
God damn, that's beautiful. Okay, coming up. Okay. Oh my God.
If I may, sir, this is a GR-20. This is a GR-22 6-shooting crossbow. Extra.
Most high. Hey, the water argument, the water. Look, I'm ready now. I thought I was ready, but now I'm ready.
This right here, sir. All solid steel sword with a red emblem in the middle. Handcrafted steel for you, sir.
Most high and crap, son. The water. Hey, I give it up, y'all. Look at that. Handcrafted. Let me say this, y'all know what I'm gonna say. Of course, I don't deserve none of this. But our great and holy King have honored us for turning our lives from the darkness to the light, man. There's no greater gift you can receive than to wake up to the truth and then commit your life to saving your brothers, man. Looking in their eyes and seeing their faces and seeing what they've suffered and what they've gone through and seeing the end of it, man, it is a guaranteed seat in the kingdom of heaven, man. So in the name of our King Yahushua, do we dedicate us another Passover of brothers and sisters' lives being saved, man?
This is the last gift, y'all, right here. From the brothers. It's a portrait of all the generals and the heads of the Israelite school and university, Brother Gunnar.
Most high in Christ, man.
Salaki, one head, Salaki, I follow that.
Most high in Christ. Wow.
Hey, Rakan, tell them to set it off, Rakan.
SHALAM!
SHALAM! What are your fears? What are your fears? What's your name? What's your name? What's your name?
And I can't never let fly, fly. We want no cowards, and I can only man prepare to die. We want no cowards, and I can't only man prepare to die.
Go get her, big stepper. All body, one West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified one West hitters, whoa. Go get her, big stepper. All body, one West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified one West hitters, whoa. Just a mud, you begin to pick it a litter. Now my name ring bells and you talking with hitters. Nice nigga, but don't make me transform like Thriller. Sam took a nigga, beat the guy with one by the river. Go get her, you kiss her, you get off of the shitter. Can't put you
Shalom.
Hey, y'all, Bashem Shabbat.
What's going on, Hebrews? What it do?
Good. Man,
It's wild, sir. It's wild.
Y'all sounding like y'all still miss Florida. It's on sad and shit. Like, y'all could always go back and y'all could always go back. I'll stay up here in the cold. Y'all could have that heat. Listen, one more hour, Mashak would have been a pool of water in that bitch. I'd have been on the ground. I'd have been on the ground as a puddle of water. It was ridiculous. Salaki. I couldn't deal with it. I need the Passover to be in Antarctica so it could come through there like them damn Vikings. Come through on a dragon like Game of Thrones. You know what I mean?
I felt like I was breathing bugs out there.
Nah, man. That's some good weather.
Man, what?
You could have that weather. Y'all could have that mess. I don't know about none of that. Y'all gonna have them slaves down in that weather. I'll take the cool. I came back up to DC. I saw 40 degrees. I say yes, Lord. God, won't He do it? Won't He do it? Nah, the Passover was real excellent, real good.
Yeah,
you know, brothers showed the hell out. You brothers and sisters, I see y'all wasn't playing with that garment game.
Yeah.
Y'all came through there like, it was there's not a Milan runway that could have beat that Passover this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
God, it's definitely spiritual for sure.
Yeah, man.
That was
It was
good,
it
bro.
was right. It was right in the spirit. I'm trying to look for some shots. That was some cold pieces here, boy. Just to for anybody who may not have been able to make it. Definitely has some shots here. Hold on. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, man.
brothers was out there
Mm-hmm.
protecting their garments, you know what I mean? Karate geese, and it was looking strong, boy.
Yeah, brothers bring them geese back, man, from the 80s. They look like the 70s, 80s, and 90s. With them geese and them mitris. Like, look at the Hob down there.
And that
With
cold red one.
With the white tee on. Like, he looking all the way Israelite flavor. Like, every flavor, you know what I'm saying? The Cholo flavor, the Gadite flavor, he just got all flavor right there. All types of flavor on the brothers, man.
Yeah. It was an excellent show. I looking for some more too. You know what I mean? See, the generals, I know, even on the top there, that light the light on that stage did something even more, more glorious for them.
And if I could, I was out and about, and there was the sisters asking about how do the Israelites women wear their headscarves like Muslims, because there was some Muslim women around. I said, nah, that's not Israelite. That's not how Israelites wear it. You want to see it? I told her go to the I.S.U.P.K 53rd Passover on Facebook. Said go on Facebook and see it. Then you'll see how Israelites dress. And she went there and she was amazed.
Right.
I.S.U.P.K 53rd Passover. You can see all the pictures on Facebook of the brothers of the event. You see how Israel really get down.
Right. And all the glory, you know what I mean? Like this shot here alone, boy.
Yeah, that's scary shot.
I'm trying to tell you, boy. I'm trying to tell you that right there is the world hates this type of thing here.
And if I could, when I look at it, I think, when the fake Israelite groups look at our Passover, like, what do they be thinking? Like, they know they can never achieve this right here. You know what I'm saying?
What is the fake Israelite group? I want to know what the Lord and the angels is thinking. Like, is they pleased? Or is they up there like, God damn, look what you see what that nigga do? Then, the angels and the Lord is looking at this shit here and being like, well, damn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, these brothers, you know what I mean? The whole spirit and everybody, it was real excellent. It was a real good show. You know what I mean? I think shows appreciate it. You go ahead, priest.
Hey, are you showing something on the screen? I can't see anything.
Oh shit! Yeah, I was showing some picture of the brothers as they was marching in with the swords and the tribute, the gifts of tribute.
Okay, all I see is warriors dwell here.
No.
Oh, damn.
That might just be me then. So I don't know what it is.
Well, you got an iPhone?
There you go.
Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. Elon Musk gonna buy Apple next. Don't worry about that. He gonna buy Apple next. Y'all gonna be straight. Y'all gonna be straight with a K. Y'all gonna be straight. Don't worry about that. You know what I mean? Yeah, but it was absolutely outstanding Passover. You know what I mean? It's showing off a little bit. You know what I mean? It was outstanding garments, the whole representation. I don't know where the hell Karab get that purple garment, but it was off the hook.
Awesome.
And Shapat over here just looking outstanding. You know what I mean? There's just a couple of the brothers with the pictures, but it was outstanding all the way around.
Yeah. Shapat get a picture of the fireworks in the background. That picture, if you have that one look.
That one is cool. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
He just smiling like.
Yeah.
Yeah, nigga. Yeah.
He had to be here.
Yeah, it was outstanding, man. It was, and it's good as spirits, too, as the Lord bring this place to a halt, that He allow us to have, that type of display.
Yeah.
No incident with nothing. You know what I mean?
Man. Even
so go ahead.
no, it's like even the oppressor who was serving breakfast in the hotel,
Right.
a older woman. She saw it. She saw the fireworks. She heard everything, and she was like, "Man, it's so good that you all could come together." You know what I mean? And you know what I mean, and enjoy yourselves like that. I mean,
That's
like, you know what I mean? They're seeing it, you know what I mean? And it's to the point whereas, you know what I mean, that they have to acknowledge it. Yeah, boy. Mm-hmm.
That's
Damn.
I thought he photoshopped this shit, but he timed that thing so perfect, boy.
Yeah.
He timed that thing so perfect, and he had a face on like, yeah, nigga, yeah.
Yeah, boy.
It was right. And that's like even I think one of them I don't know if it was an oppressor, if it was a sister, one of them who was getting the breakfast ready in the morning in the hotel was saying, since we got there from the Friday, it's been the easiest weekend she's ever had because we wasn't eating no pork, no shrimp, and of course the unleavened bread. All she had to do was do the eggs and the whatever turkey bacon or whatever it was. She said it was so easy. She didn't have to think about nothing. She had to worry about nothing. Like she was like, she ain't gonna know. She's like, she said she would have to readjust when we roll because she gets so used to just the eggs and whatever. Like, we go and we make their lives easier no matter what. You know what I mean?
Yep.
When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
You damn right.
It.
Yeah. God, it's lucky.
Damn right, man. Y'all know this is the that picture of the night right there, boy. Yeah, that picture was real cold, you know what I mean? Real cold from start to finish right there. The lighting alone on that stage, you know what I mean? Bring that thing all the way out. Just so right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I give it up to Florida, Shawaya, to Honda Middle, brothers was rocking that thing, you know what I mean? Any little thing came up, was able to handle it. You know what I mean? It was outstanding Passover.
Boy, oh boy.
So listen, what we dealing with tonight? You know, I heard the boots is on the ground in Ukraine.
Boy, oh boy.
The boots is on the ground in Ukraine. Caitlyn Jenner is transphobic. I don't understand. I don't understand what this oppressor wants in life. Again, he was an Olympian. He was on the Wheaties box. You trade the thing for the box, and now you mad. What you want? What you want, nigga? Like, what you gonna get next? Yeah,
the irony.
I don't understand this shit. Like they're infighting amongst each other now. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. There ain't no unity in that trans community at all.
Like I said, I don't know if that's them or they that that's dealing with that. You know what I mean?
Who was he fighting with? Them or they? Yeah, I mean, it or them. So I don't know what stories you don't want to hit first. I know we had the Caitlyn Jenner one. Of course, we had Elon Musk with this damn thing. You know what I mean? And he talk about.
Say that one more time.
Cap, we can hit the Caitlyn Jenner one if you want, Cap.
Caitlyn Jenner. I was saying we had Caitlyn Jenner. We had Elon Musk. And that DC shooter. We could start with Caitlyn Jenner for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, if you have
Caitlyn Jenner, Leah Thomas, one of the worst things to happen to trans community. Caitlyn Jenner decried transgender college swimmer Leah Thomas as one of the worst things to happen to the trans community. In an interview Thursday, Jenner told Piers Morgan that the swimmer was bad PR for trans people on the host news show Piers Morgan Uncensored. Leah Thomas is one of the worst things that happened to the trans community because it's such bad publicity, she said. I've met so many wonderful trans people doing so many wonderful things, living their life authentically. Thomas,
wait.
I wonder if she talking about with or without the, you know what I mean?
You got to take the word authenticity out of that equation if you're going to talk about living your life, being a trans person.
Right.
Yeah.
You get like authenticity, and then they want to rephrase the word. They want to change what these words mean. But a lot of those trans people believe that like you said, there's a split in the rainbow now. There's a split now. A lot of them are saying that what Caitlyn Jenner did as a man was not legitimate because she wasn't or he wasn't his true self. So when he ran as a man and won the Olympics, they don't look at that as you being you. And then he's saying he's defending. He had to defend the sports world because he got his victories as a man. Yeah. So it just shows you that they sore losers on both sides of the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's a political issue also with the LGBTQI mafia. You understand? But that ain't the worst thing that happened in their community. You understand? You just had a WNBA player damn near choke her lover to death. Almost. You understand? So we got a lot to discuss what goes on the dark side of the rainbow. What's going on with these LGBTQI minions and people on the internet. So like
and with all that, I ain't hear nobody say cancel Caitlyn Jenner.
Right.
To use LGBT and the worst thing in the same sentence alone is supposed to put you on the radar for being canceled.
Yeah, you getting put in Facebook jail if you make a statement like that.
Make a statement. If I go right now and type, whoever is the worst thing to ever happen to the trans community, and where's the trans community now? Like, what are they saying? Like, where are they? How come they didn't come out and asking for some sort of accountability or responsibility for that statement? Like, you have to explain yourself. Like nobody coming out and backing this, Leah Thomas. Nobody coming out and saying what she said about Leah was wrong. None of that, which lets you know this community is they're not together as they pretend to be together.
That's right. That's right.
And to Caitlyn Jenner, she's a hypocrite because she was on the front cover of the Woman magazine, right?
Exactly.
Come on. She on the front cover of the magazine and she ain't coming out and saying, well, I shouldn't be there.
Right.
Nah. Then Leah Thomas, she won. Yeah. She's the best swimmer.
If I could, Captain, what you said is so right. The LGBTQI community is gonna cancel themselves. Yeah. That's how you know the Lord. What the Lord says is look at this disgusting piece of trash.
This is the cover of the Vanity Fair. The knees big like a sledgehammer, and the foot long like one of the pillows on the couch. Yes. But this thing here was, on the cover of the Vanity Fair. You know what I mean? Right. Now, what you want? You make the cover of a woman's magazine, dressed in women's lingerie. And that swimmer can't put on a swimsuit and go on butterfly with the ladies.
Right. And if I could, go ahead, Cap.
Go ahead, Cap. Sorry.
No, I just want to say one thing since we're talking about sports. I haven't heard Caitlyn Jenner say anything about the WNBA player that's the black WNBA player that's being held captive in Russia. Right. Or that's being held high. Once again, they pick and choose what they want to talk about in this community. And they always exclude you. Even you black trans and black gay people, they know it's still a prejudice and racism that goes on under that rainbow. but we haven't heard anything. Nobody's talking out or speaking out about that sister that's over there in Russia that played with the WNBA. That's over there. That's captive in Russia.
Right.
They haven't said anything about it. So where is the LGBTQI Liberation Army? Where are they at?
Right.
Why aren't they going out there and trying to get her from Russia? You understand? So Salakia.
She had the nerve to say, live your life in all your authenticity.
Yeah.
Like this thing, goddamn, authenticity. What we talking about here?
Right.
Like our oppressor, boy, he really something else. You know what I mean? And like how the scriptures say, there's no cutting him off.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's absolutely no cutting him off. Like he'll take everything that he could. You know what I mean? He'll take every inch and everything that he could.
Yeah.
God, like if I could, just to piggyback off Captain I.S.U.P.K said, like she got the ESPY, I believe, for the Courage Award, the ESPY Award for having the courage. You get what I'm saying? To do what she did, which is a sports award. You get what I mean? So it is very hypocritical for her to say that about this transgender swimmer. You know what I mean?
Listen. I say, listen. This is what I say. I want to ever be thought of as defending none of them transmissions. Listen, let them fight, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead and fight for the right to do whatever. Like Caitlin, you don't do your thing. You mad at this, bro? You'll hurry up and fight. You'll hurry up and fight about who's the realer, faker, realer man. Who's the realest, fakest man, woman, they? Who's the realest, fakest they on the planet?
Right.
You'll go ahead and fight. Meanwhile, we'll have the most glorious Passover in the whole world, and in the kingdom, we'll see who's authentic and who isn't.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see who passed, who passed the test and who going on the clearance shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, so that is it. I think we could move on from that nastiness. Salaki. Broad wrist, big, full of art writers, full of art and writers. And you want to talk about you a woman.
Right.
I don't get it. Ain't nothing dainty about nothing there. You know what I mean? What we had next? What's another good one we got?
Could do one with Elon Musk. What we have on Elon Musk?
We definitely have Elon. And we had them 2 DC stories. If we could get them for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Them 2 DC stories is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So Elon, you might have to pull that up. I don't think Elon on the list, but you might have to pull up Elon Musk. You know, a lot of people know him as Tesla, the SpaceX man. You know what I mean? Elon Musk. I don't know where this oppressor came from, but he for sure, had the right connection and the right type of money. You know what I mean? And this week they say how he bought Twitter, or he's going to buy Twitter.
No, I think he bought it.
Nah, he bought it.
He bought it already.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where now the Joe Biden and them they set up a committee. I forget the name of it, but there's a committee that set up just to combat him getting Twitter. He talking about, really having that freedom of speech.
He needs to have it freedom of speech.
Because I don't know if you all get wind of really follow the story with Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, crackhead son.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he have with that laptop. That laptop would have totally sink him if the full news had come out.
Yeah.
It would have sink him. You know what I mean? With all the deals they was making with Ukraine, his son has no type of what I call it again, no type of education fitting to be on any board, and was raking close to like $1 million in some company in Ukraine. That the Ukraine labeled this company as one of those we call them companies, boy.
Like a shell company?
Not shell company, but where a ton of illegal stuff was happening. You know what I mean? So to the point where corrupt. They say it was corrupt. You know what I mean? and he was raking in over $1 million or close to $1 million in salary on that board.
And if
Uh-huh.
Okay, I was gonna say if I could before the war, Ukraine was voted in Europe as the most corrupt country of all Europe.
Yeah,
the most corrupt. And so they getting that money.
Yeah.
And that's probably why they want to come up against Musk. They're probably trying to see if they could take some of that damn money.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They're probably trying to see if, how much it is? $44 billion?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I
Thinking,
mean,
yeah.
$44 billion, and we just come out of a goddamn pandemic.
Mm.
I don't know. I mean, shit. I think these boy, how them Christians that say Jesus take the wheel. $44 billion, and we just come out of pandemic. And he just buy that just because, like Twitter ain't powering no Tesla car. It ain't, Twitter ain't powering nothing going into space. I mean, like you just give another oppressor $44 billion. Or just the talk of doing that is raising the economy up so much.
Yeah.
So much. Just the buzz of it, even before money passed. That Twitter stuff probably going all the way up now. You know what I mean? Like that, like that's the type of power these people are rolling with in this empire. You know what I mean? While, our leaders have us marching and begging and marching and begging, right? Telling us to, teaching us how to, train to talk to the cops and, speak to them this way and do this way. And these oppressors is just, flams in money, like brandishing the money.
Yeah.
And if I could, even if, like you said, was heavy with our black leaders, Black Lives Matter is getting under investigation from Indiana, being sued for their mishandling of funds over a so-called $60 million war chest and the $3 million mansion they leader bought in California that was supposed to be a campus, but it ain't open to the public. And the lavish lifestyles they live in. So our so-called black leaders that's getting money for our causes is sitting there balling out in California in Calabasas.
Yeah. And once again, they learn all of that from, Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Martin Luther doing, all them big-headed civil rights leaders and politicians. Was the one who died, a big fish face one. Something John. What's his name?
You're talking about John Lewis.
John Lewis.
Yeah.
John Lewis. That's the one. I think he get his head bust on the Selma Bridge. Yep. He get his head bust wide open on the Selma Bridge, and till today we getting our heads cracked all the way open. But Elon Musk, for appearance, was not on Selma's Bridge. Right. At least not marching. If they was there, they was cracking heads, and now he could just frivolously. From everything apparent, I don't know what's the deeper meaning behind it. If you're gonna use social media to make everybody buy Tesla, I don't know what the psychology behind this is.
Man, I think.
Go ahead,
Silaki. I think the psychology behind it too is like they like is more so Esau fighting Esau. You know what I mean? They're trying to. It's almost like Esau. Like with the election,
right?
You know what I mean? Like that news with the laptop. I don't know if you all remember, but Trump was trying to bring it up in a debate they was having, and Biden shut it down quick, and it really never show up until almost like 4 years after or a few years after. Now everything showing up. Now this laptop is really real because from first they were saying it was fake. You know what I mean? Which show you that the Democratic Party or the government, whichever government is in power, they're suppressing whatever. You know what I mean? You think you have freedom of speech. You don't have freedom of speech. You know what I mean? You could be on YouTube and, you know what I mean? I don't know if you all know about the shadow banning.
Right.
Like you on YouTube. You know what I mean? You are classes on YouTube. You're seeing 9 people showing up, but a ton of people looking at your stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they know what they're doing, and now they're in fear of him just taking that freedom of speech and just making it. You know what I mean?
open to everybody.
Yeah, out there. Like really and truly, if you hear them real rednecks, the real oppressors on them, you would see that they agree with what we saying, that we supposed to separate. You know what I mean? But because of the media, because of all, you know what I mean, all CNN, Fox News, everything, you thinking, you know what I mean, that America is this big melting pot and we all happy to live together, when that's not the case.
Right.
That's totally not the case. And you're seeing it from, you know what I mean, from these videos you're seeing with these oppressors calling us niggers. You know what I mean? Like it's really, you know what I mean, like half the country, you know what I mean, or almost the whole country racist, but just by the news or whatever, the pushing on the media, you will not think that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I see what you said.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to be able to talk free. So
yeah.
Come say what you're bringing out is heavy, Cap, because it's the same thing with the Ukraine war. Like when you hear people in the Ukraine war and talk about it, the people in Russia are getting different stories of the war than what we're getting over here in America. So we and I'll be listening to some of the stories, and some of them don't really be making sense. You know how, you know, the Ukraine is doing so great and knocking all of Russia out and this and that. But the people in Russia are hearing Russia's doing so great and knocking all the people in Ukraine out. And so they already starting the war of propaganda of the news, and the war of what controlling what people know and what people hear. And they see that, okay, it's good, it's profit in this, you know what I mean? So they about to start taking away more and more freedom of speech. The more they delve into, well, let's not tell them this part about what's going on of the war. Well, let's not tell them about this part. And they're like, well, this is good. This is good. They sending all the money to Ukraine. That money, half of that money, more than likely ain't even going to nobody, to them people, little Ukraine soldiers.
Nope.
You know, that money's going to all type of people.
That money going to them in Kapash, going in the landmines. It going in the Kalashnikov. It going in that 7.62 round that hit you back. That's where that money going. That money ain't going to feeding them. For sure is what I'm saying. That money ain't going to feeding them at all. But you know, I see exactly what you're bringing out, where like now he kind of, it's like it's a war for the airwaves, and it's so heavy that, you know, we pray that prayer all the time. Open up the airwaves, open up the internet. You know what I mean? Open up this, open up that. And, you know, they're trying to, as they pass critical race theory, their own come with $44 billion worth of, you know, critical race, you know, freedom.
Right.
You know what I mean? Critical race, you know, unlimited. Like, you go on there and say what you want and do what you want. He himself said, he say, you know, he wants to hear from his critics. He said he want to hear, honestly, the critics have a point of view, and he want them to be able to talk, you know, at will. Now, whether he does it remains to be seen, but I've seen the U.P.K. pray for, you know, more disasters, and disasters happen. I've seen us pray for, you know, to release all the plagues, you know, all the destruction, and the destruction happens.
Right.
So now we're praying for, you know, you open up the internet, open up the airwaves, and this fool come out here and say he gonna restore everybody who they ban. Like this nigga is like the warden who opening up the prison cell.
Yep.
Like he gonna restore everybody who they ban. He gonna let you be able to say what you want, post what you want, and put the edit button. Because, you know, Twitter didn't have no edit button. You make a tweet, and, you know, you might have misquote it or misspell it. You have to delete the whole tweet and retweet it. You couldn't go back and edit it. He's like, none at all. You know, he want to change all of that.
Right.
And, you know, it's crazy how, you know, as the generals always teach, you know, in between where our oppressors fight, that little space in between, we have room to maneuver. We have real room to maneuver. When the North was fighting the South, we had a ton of room to maneuver. You know what I mean? So it's go ahead,
No, Salaki, I hate to cut you off, Cap.
No, go ahead.
But is the new department in Homeland Security called this Information Governance Board? They just bring that department out, I think, after this man acquired Twitter. You know what I mean? So
that's one of the things I think you talk about.
They got something to combat it already.
Yeah, I think he was talking about that. Like all the you know those fact check people that
Yeah.
they have on the Facebook, and he was saying a lot of them fact check people don't know nothing, and they would say, well, you know, that's not a fact, but you know they're just saying this shit because you know Zuckerberg allowed them to. But he, you know, he got it's like a go ahead, brother.
Shalom, Yabashir Gadam.
Yeah, about Sheffield.
I don't know if I brought up the point about earlier this week. The two things that was said was one, that the defense minister of Australia told its own country to prepare for war. I don't know if y'all brought that part out in the midst of all this. And that also America has sent a nuclear sub to the waters of Ukraine. I don't know if y'all brought that out too.
Listen, they'll say that's disinformation, Ad.
Yeah.
You bring in disinformation now. Nah, we ain't bring that now that like that yet. We are still talking about this thing here. But I think this is what Fak was talking about. Right here. You could get in the description of it.
Oh,
Come.
The Disinformation Governance Board is a United States Department of Homeland Security Board announced on April 27th, 2022 during a 2023 budget hearing before the United States House Appropriations Subcommittee on Homeland Security. Its aim is protecting national security by combating foreign misinformation and disinformation. Specific problem areas of knowledge mentioned include false information propagated by human smugglers encouraging migrants to surge to the Mexico-United States border, as well as Russian state disinformation on election interference, the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine, and COVID-19 vaccines. In a statement, the DHS said the board would protect privacy, civil rights, and civil liberties as part of its duty. After the board was formed, Nina Jankowicz was named executive director. She was previously a fellow at the Wilson Center, advised the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry as part of the Fulbright Public Policy Fellowship, oversaw Russia and Belarus programs at the National Democratic Institute, and wrote the book, How to Lose the Information War. Russia, Fake News, and the Future of Conflict.
See, like they really, like General Q hit it. You know what I mean? He hit it. He hit the nail on the head. Like they have all them pretty words and them well constructed sentences.
Right.
But really, they really just want to control what you hear. Time. They really want to be able to, you know, filter. That's the better word. I don't want to say control because the connotations that come with control, the word control, it means different things to different people. But everybody could more or less appreciate the word filter. Like a filter lets certain things through and it stops certain things from going through. And they want to be able to filter whatever they deem a threat to national security or medical emergencies or whatever.
Right.
And whatever they deem is a threat is a threat. You get it going? Whatever it is they deem is that, which is why this is so, it's a I would say definitely it's a good thing that this devil putting up $44 billion so we could go on Twitter and tweet. The white man is the devil the Bible speaks of.
Right.
That's and get retweeted and never ever interrupted and break down the whole histories of the Bible and our people, because that's one thing they really try to suppress. Besides the vaccine, this and all the the quote unquote flash mobs that they want to say is visiting the borders. That's really what they're talking about. Like that old school flash mob thing, be at so and so corner at so and so time when we're gonna do this dance. They're trying to say somebody is down there creating a flash mob at these borders, you know, the Russian-Ukraine conflict, and it's telling people what to do when you know people been fleeing poverty and crime forever.
Right.
That the oppressor caused in the country.
Right.
People been fleeing it for the longest. So you know you don't need to create no board to stop that. If you just stop being the devil, people will stop doing whatever they're doing.
Right.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
So Lucky, if I could, like you say, you know, Elon Musk, he the wild card in this whole information equation, and people like him to have money that's able to create their own platforms or or by major platforms is already made. There's a war on information. The scripture says there's going to be wars and rumors of wars. Yep. So there's a war, an information war, and to be honest, it's already World War III in the comment section. Yeah, on a lot of these racially charged or politically charged posts dealing with all these different cultures and subcultures or communities that's going on, and that they want to censor. But you know what I'm saying, like the scriptures say, don't be not deceived by any means. Don't let no man deceive you by any means. And that's the time we coming into. You know what I'm saying? There was a time where we didn't have as much information, but now there's lots of information, but there's misinformation now. So Satan has a way to deceive the people. The greater the evil, the greater the deception. And this is why you need to get in the I.S.U.P.K and get in these classes, because the real knowledge of what's going on, the insight and the foresight, which comes from prophets of the Lord, is what you need in the I.S.U.P.K to know really what's going on and know how to move and how to move on this chessboard they call life.
Yeah, you're so right. You're so right. If I could get one scripture there too, because just to back up what Kahan was just saying there, was so heavy. You know what I mean? Revelations 12:15 to 17. Oh, God. You know what I mean? 15 to 17, if you don't mind.
Revelations chapter 12, verse 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman.
Right. So now they've been lying. We already know they've been lying to us and about us. Even though they, they're talking about, the Russia, Ukraine, the vaccine, whatever. Everything, if you really get to the root of it, is to destroy Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. All their lies is always to keep us underfoot. They'll act like the problem is the Chinese, but it's us. They'll act like the problem is the Afghans, but it's us. Go ahead.
That he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
Right. That he wants us to be carried away in all these lies, all these, the propaganda that he pushing. Like at one time, there was so many movies coming out saying, Christ had to be this color and that color. Yeah. And then the tide changed where they just say, you know what, we might as well let everybody know he black. Yeah. And they just kind of go with it now because the truth is coming forth so strong. They damn near had to rearrange how they do things. They damn near had to rearrange everything that they're doing, or else we'll be swept away in their flood, which is the lies.
Right.
You understand? The wave. Like, I'll join this wave, join that wave. Right. That's the lies that they're going to be coming with. Keep going.
And the earth helped the woman.
Say it again.
And the earth helped the woman.
And the earth helped the woman. It's an old school bedrock scripture that lets us know that no matter what they do, the Lord is going to open up the rocks and with information. Like they could bring whatever board of disinformation. Elon Musk could buy everything. Twitter, Tinder, hose.com. He could buy whatever he wants. The Lord will crack open the rock of Gibraltar and you will receive the records from on high. That would make it fall to pieces. You get the point?
That's
going.
Okay. And swallowed up the flood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
Right, which is what we're doing on the streets every weekend. Every weekend, every class. This is what we was doing in Florida 2 Fridays ago. You get the point?
Right.
Salakia. Alwapanya. Barak.
Yahweh Shabrak thumb. The water again. Trying to work this camera again. I don't know what's going on with these cameras. How y'all making out?
Good, sir. Yeah.
Oh, y'all got all the heavy hitters in here tonight. Oh, the bona fide captains up in here. The dog looked like he done took over the whole Middle East. Turned it into the land of Israel. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to Kapash, man. I heard y'all did well with that with the dog situation. Y'all had like a contest, right?
We had a dog show, first annual, has pit bulls and different breeds in there.
Yeah.
It was a great event for the community. You know, get some brothers out here.
Damn right. You know, man, and Kahantham Yard, man, I gotta say the water to Kahantham Yard. Me and Kahantham Yard and I have been damn right doing a hell of a job with that Passover. He and I have been wrangling with that bill for a week. We ain't settled that bill yet. We found 10 G's in discrepancies that we had to go check they behind on. Hunt had to go in there and check the hell out of them damn East Indians and them Edomites. Get their ass straight on that. They apologize. Oh, sorry, Salah. Sorry, we sorry. He had to dig all the way in there, man. You know, man.
I'm sorry, Christ.
It's been real. See, you got I.S.U.P.K in there, held down that Sabbath service in the Passover. God dang. You know what I'm saying? Damn right. You know, man. Of course, Meshach and I need no introduction. They're doing they fresh over England and South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Oh, did we lose Gadal Hall for a second? There you go. So yeah, man. So I didn't mean to interrupt. What y'all getting into?
We were just going over with Elon Musk, how he bought that Twitter and the agenda for that, you know, like to combat that whole, you know, freedom of speech versus what you can't say politically correct. Like they starting a fight amongst themselves, and within that space, that's where we could operate. That's where we could fully turn the volume up on the head. You know what I mean? While they're battling him, we gonna be on there tweeting at camp, tweeting in sleep, tweeting in the kitchen. tweet. You know what I mean? You can get good.
God.
Yeah,
like one half of the kingdom is upset that the other half is trying to shut down all of the free speech.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, man, they got far away from that free speech. It's damn near like they trying to shut. And listen, it's a blessing in this respect. If I could, just to add to the conversation, what the Democrats are pushing is so much immorality that even the devil got to push back against it. Even he's saying, God damn, I mean, come on. You know what I mean? We was just talking about this on Wednesday, how, you know, they want you. It's amazing brainwashing in that they no longer want to say they're something. They now want you to ignore your natural instinct in your mind and now tell your own brain what you looking at is not what you looking at.
Right.
You looking at what looked like a man dressed like a woman, but you gotta lie to your brain and say, no, brain, you're wrong. That's actually a woman.
Right.
Which is telling you to self-brainwash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was talking about real quick. A dog comes up to another dog and sniffs a dog. And the reason they sniffing that dog is to see if that dog is male or female. If this is a potential mate or is this another male? That's why if he sniffed too long, that first dog will start tripping on him if it's a male. You know what I mean? That's their natural figure out. Well, we got intelligence as human beings. So when you look at another person from a child, you have the ability to discern what is this. Like a child can tell after a month or 2 months who its mother is by the smell, by the look, by the voice.
Yeah.
You could tell by, it's a natural instinct to identify. So what they're saying is that natural instinct that's been in you since a child, cut that natural instinct off. Lie to yourself and tell you what you're looking at is not what you're looking at. The Lord only gave us 2 species of humans, a man and a woman. They try to come with all these LGBTQ plus BA algebraic calculus numbers.
Binary.
Which of course is the brainwash you, because now you got to try to create these things in your mind that really don't exist.
Right.
Which is insane. So I think it was so much that they pushed back and decided, man, we got to find a way to get our voice out there. So they getting ready to take vengeance on the other half of the kingdom. Scripture said, house divided cannot stand. It's so beautiful that they fighting over this ability to speak, like you said, you know what I'm saying?
Come on. This is just what he was just breaking down. So
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Slot.
Yeah, and Silaki General, I don't know if you had to look at the video I had sent you on WhatsApp, right? It's a oppressor speaking to a panel, and he is telling them, let's not teach the kids about the binary.
Yes.
Let's not teach them about that.
Oh, man.
He's like, wait until they get to maybe college or high school where they could decide what they want to be.
Man, do you have that article?
No,
Or the
yeah.
video?
I sent it to Captain Meshach on WhatsApp just now. I don't know if he might be able to play it.
Just now, listen.
Yeah, but you play that and you will see where America trying to take it or is going to take it with them kids.
Wow.
Could you send it to me on Facebook or is there a YouTube video of it?
I don't know if it's YouTube, but I got it on WhatsApp.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So if I could, while y'all looking for that video, this is back up what the general said about how it was a split, because the other side is leaning more towards nationalism and the traditional way of marriage and the traditional of a man and a woman. And they know that this type of lifestyle weakens their country and weakens the society, which leaves gaps for enemies. The LGBTQI, you look at it as the Trojan horse that was brought to destroy us, but now it's backfiring on their whole empire. So it's like now, they like once again the dark side of the rainbow. They bringing out all the domestic violence that's going on in the LGBTQI community. Like now it's like a pushback. They saying, well, this community ain't all what they dressed up to be. They got a lot of high drug addiction. They got all these things. So they trying to show that a lot of these people are degenerates. A lot of these people are claiming this identity because of the benefits that come along with it, especially you in poverty. If you in school and you in poverty dealing with racism, you just say, well, I'm gay. Now they put you in a special class and they give you all these special rainbow benefits and special wristbands, and you would protect the class now because you hiding behind this rainbow. You understand? So all these things are just coming out, and not only that, they get certain financial benefits. You know what I'm saying? If you are black trans, and you living in poverty, you get certain, benefits from the state. You know what I'm saying? Housing, all that. So what you wouldn't get as a black person, you now get as a black trans person. So they make these subcultures in order for us to try to so-called give us an identity just to say you can survive now for being somebody you're not.
Bob, good. That's so deep, Bob. I never even looked at that angle. That is so deep. What they pushing. In other words, that's just what a slave master would do. He would say, if you want to get out of the field and come up in the house, you got to be a certain way. You got to have a certain character. You got to be a certain way, and we'll let you come on and work in the house. You ain't got to be out here with the field slave. You can be inside in the house. You got to put on these clothes. You got to talk a certain way. You got to carry yourself a certain way to be this close to master. And that's what it seemed like they saying here. It sounds like that's what you're bringing out.
Cut on concert.
That's heavy, huh?
And generally, it's not only with the actual like the carnal sexual preferences. Like damn near you could take that back to the whole Chris Rock Will Smith thing. Like he had to put on a face and accept. Okay, like how you say you had to look at a woman knowing as a man and pretend as a woman. His wife whored on him, and he still had to look at her and be like, she's so righteous and she's good and I'm never leaving. Because that's who he had to be to stay where he is. And Chris Rock, instead of going to hell off on that damn stage, he had to, oh, damn, Will Smith just slapped the hell out of me and carry on and laugh. And really like, oppress his own self just to even be or to get the handout or the support from the oppressor, as you're saying. So he at one time, the oppression was physical. Now it moved to, financial, spiritual, and sexual. Like he oppressing you in a certain way where you restricting yourself and burying yourself. And you had to, it's like an internal hatred, like you turning in on your own self just to survive, which is is a whole different level of oppression, mentally, the psychology behind it. And they'll look and wonder why we could never be together and get it together, why Black people do the things they do. And they're not realizing what they're requiring of us is making us self-destruct. You know what I mean?
Answer like this, if I could say, is to the point now where, you know what I mean, like how they was saying that to be gay, you know what I mean, it could be born gay and stuff. No, if you're born gay, is that something natural, then why are you pushing it on people like this?
You're right.
Why you have to, you know what I mean, put it in the schools where the young kids are? You know what I mean? Why you have to do that? Because you are teaching them to be that way. You're teaching them to accept that lifestyle from young, so that when they get older, it's, you know what I mean, it's to them, it's normal. You know what I mean? When it should not be. You know what I mean?
Right. It should not be. Hey, big shout out to Kazakh. Yeah, what's going on, Warrior?
Shalom, sir. Salute.
That's heavy. Like, that's crazy. And that's why, and I think that's why they so glad that this Elon Musk is going to buy this Twitter, because they know they're gonna get a big platform to just get loose. And I heard, I could be wrong on this, y'all tell me, but I heard he had already fired the board. That true? I heard he somehow already fired the board.
I seen jokes about it. I don't know if it was true though.
Oh, okay.
But I do know that what they're saying. Remember what they were saying about Donald Trump and Russia? Right now they're coming out and saying that was a whole hoax. That wasn't true. But as I was telling the brothers and them, the laptop was true.
With Hillary,
with his crackhead son. His
son. Oh,
yeah.
Man. So Trump was so Trump was straight up on it the whole time.
Yes. And they was saying that he was lying. There's no laptop, because they questioned the FBI who was in charge at the time, and they asked him, where's the laptop? And he's like, I don't know what laptop you all talking about. But all of a sudden now it started coming out. You know what I mean? I watch a whole segment on YouTube with a woman who was on the board, who was actually looking at every aspect of the laptop. They say this crackhead was look, like he really a crackhead.
God.
No, yeah, he was what do you call that? He was recording everything he doing. The money he was spending on hoes, he recorded it. Everything he was doing, he recorded himself, to the point where the woman is like, this ain't a grown man.
So like,
yeah, you know what I mean?
So like the scriptures say the earth will help the woman, the internet helping us.
God.
That's him right there in the bedroom with the prostitute and the bottom thing, because as he say, he recording everything.
Yeah. They say he spent $8,000 in one night on a prostitute.
Dang.
And end up swiping the card so much time that the agents had to come and knock on the door and tell him, yo, that's Joe Biden card you're using.
Presidential suite.
Yeah. They say by the end of the morning, he swiped $120,000.
Oh Lord. Listen, I know the drug dealers was pulling up in Bentleys and Bentleys. Yo, Biden in the building with him.
It's crazy. That's what they say. If they had that laptop.
Oh damn.
And then they said that he was doing, I mean, ridiculous money in Ukraine.
Yes.
I mean, billions of dollars, man. In Ukraine.
Yeah.
And that's what Trump was trying to get.
Trump
was trying to get it for that election to stop him from any move. Damn.
But what they do was they suppress it. The media stop it from coming out, because if that had come out, that'll be it for Joe Biden. It would have stained his, you know what I mean, his character to the point where, you know what I mean, Esau would not want to, you know what I mean, deal with him.
You're right. He would have lost.
Yeah.
He'd have lost that election.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been
it was, yeah, concept, because it was that close that something that big come out.
Yeah.
It would have been done.
Would have took it over the top.
Yeah. And what they're saying too is because, like, before, Joe Biden didn't have an issue with his, you know what I mean, may have had an issue with his lifestyle. But when he decided to run to be president, now he want, you know what I mean, the crackhead to clean up.
God.
He's like, you know, to hell with you all. And he went and dropped the give the laptop to some computer repair man.
Yeah.
And just drop it right there, like a straight up crackhead move.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You go drop a computer with everything, your whole life on it. Nah, you retire Slovakia. You special.
and these devils, you know, these devils, they be having that hatred for their parents. Who knows if he's recording everything to one day, I'll ruin you, Dad. I'll get you back. I'll drop a bomb on you, Dad. Like, why the hell would why the hell would you record all that nonsense?
That's like Jamie Kennedy on Malibu Was Wanted. He was ruining it for his pops.
Yeah. Because that's what I was trying to stop. You know what I mean? That's what he exactly was trying to stop, because they say the salary he was getting, they say the son was giving Joe Biden like half his salary. So all that, you know what I mean, all that would have come out on Biden. It would have been like, you know what I mean, he is the, you know what I mean.
It would have been the end. It would have been the end for him. I mean, like you said, he barely won.
Yeah.
It was a close ass race. He barely won. And if that laptop would have come out, he'd have lost.
Yeah. As General Kowalamat saying, he told Ukraine president to give up Biden.
That's right. I remember he said that. He was saying that, and then they tried to bring. I think that's what they impeached Trump on, didn't they? Didn't they impeach him on the fact that he was trying to force? He was holding back. They impeached him on the fact that he was holding back aid.
Yes.
To Ukraine until they opened an investigation on Joe Biden's son.
Yes.
And they turned around and went to impeach him on it.
Cancer.
You know, man, like they got an immoral agenda on us. I guess insane.
Yep.
You know, man. So them opening up this Twitter might change the whole election. He get hold of this Twitter, it might change the whole elections. Because I mean, how many? They said Trump had like millions of followers on Twitter, didn't he?
Yeah. Before they took his account, I think.
Yeah, before they took his account, he had millions of followers on that Twitter.
Him and the other guy that was in the West Wing with him, the one they got rid of, that he was a known racist. He was right behind him. Him and I forgot the cat named Bannon.
Right, Bannon.
Steve Bannon. He had I think up to 1 million or 2 million. So they had a heavy presence when they posted. You know what I'm saying, on Twitter.
Wow. Crazy.
You know, that Elon Musk, you know, he's good friends with that that Elon Musk, he's good friends with that Joe Rogan. I remember recently they tried to silence Joe Rogan. Yeah. You know what I mean? They tried to silence him. I forget what it was. It was over the vaccine or it was just freedom.
Yeah, it was over the vaccine. They tried to do it.
It was over the vaccine, and you remember he have a huge platform, and he's damn near like a not a soul, but like he's like a mockery to them, because you know he's not like a journalist. He's a former MMA sportsman who decided to turn on a camera one day and eventually just create this huge platform, this lane for himself where people listen. He's like almost like a more organized what's the InfoWars man who they banned the first time? Alex Jones. More organized, palatable Alex Jones. So now they try to come at him So now a few months later, you have Elon Musk making this huge play for that freedom of speech, like right where they could fight each other. That's where we get to play.
And it's funny you say that because they talked about how they bankrupting Alex Jones. They said he's up in there talking to the prosecutors, telling them, let me cut a deal. I'll give you all the evidence you want on the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol. You understand? He filed bankruptcy for all his companies. He ready to go. He ready to turn state's evidence. He ready to turn on all of them. You know what I mean? Because they getting ready to take all his money. What I didn't know is that they said he made $50 million with that InfoWars show.
Off of his show?
Off of his show. They said just from selling the products and all of that, he made $50 million off of that joint. And them Sandy Hook kids, since they suing him, now they in court now determining how much he's gonna have to pay, which means you know what I'm saying, they getting ready to hit his ass for tens of millions, which might just bankrupt him. So they definitely coming after him. They said for that defamation on Sandy Hook. Go ahead,
Con, he tried to file bankruptcy before the whole thing went down, and then the family's lawyer from Sandy Hook said they went to the plate. I forgot what the judge and said you got to stop the bankruptcy because he's trying to file bankruptcy because he's trying to avoid paying the families.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. He don't want them to really see all his true assets, but like all the InfoWars, all the merchandise. All the sponsors he got out of Austin, Texas, forget about it. I mean, he was selling everything from organic seeds to everything. He was survival kits. He's selling bunkers. He's selling all kind of stuff. Doomsday, everything. Doomsday parachute, a doomsday drone. He's selling every damn thing he can find. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about InfoWars. There's a war on information, all right. You know what I'm saying? War to keep him file bankruptcy.
They did. They say he's selling iodine. He was selling iodine for yo, man.
Come.
Them Democrats got hold of him. You know, man, like he was doing good before he hitched his wagon to Trump. He should have stayed where he was at.
Yeah.
You know, man.
Right. Hey, John, you're right. When he hooked up with Trump, then that really made him a target. You know what I'm saying? And then like he bit out more than he can chew. Them Democrats squeezing him like a Nerf ball right now. They squeezing him like a Nerf ball right now, squeezing everything they can get out of him. The Proud Boys, they didn't rat it. The Proud Boys leader, he didn't rat it too. He told cooperating, all of them turning the states evidence.
Yeah, all of them turning.
And they turn around and blaming Trump. Remember, they say Trump tricked us. Trump left us high and dry. A lot of them who stormed that Capitol and really tied their life on to Trump because Trump ain't turned around to help them. Days like Trump tricked us. That QAnon, the old Viking one.
Yeah,
Trump tricked us, but because he had to go behind bars, and that's what they get. They ran to their savior. You know what I mean? They're smiling in your face for the last 8 years on Obama. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? And secretly going to vote racist and not understanding that you're an animal or you're people. So when the food gets short and times get hard, you're all gonna turn on each other. You know what I mean? They're gonna turn on each other. So
that's great.
I don't know if you want to get the boots on the ground, General, and the boots on the ground in Ukraine.
It's up to you. I'm just flowing with y'all, man. I'm just glad to be able to hang with y'all, man, and kick it and all this good stuff y'all bringing out. You know what I'm saying?
So we had the boots on the ground in Ukraine.
I think that Ukraine story is an incredible story.
Gosh.
You know what I mean? Once you start reading, anyway, I'm gonna let you go ahead and do it. Salakia.
No, it's the world. So it's the world. If you could say it for sure, take the lead on it, because I know you're gonna go in the nooks and the crannies of the thing.
Most High in Christ, I for sure that Ukraine brother. First of all, since you asked, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. Once again, you got to understand, I'm biased in the situation because I was saying this 30 years ago,
right,
and reading it out the scriptures, and to be actually living it and seeing it is just amazing to me that it's unfolding. This is direct biblical prophecy, and let me tell you something. This guarantees you one thing above all, that entire prophecy of Christ returning with the ships, of them going into nuclear war, of us being lifted up, of all those things that we've said, that what you see going on right now in Russia and Ukraine is 100% proof that all of those other prophecies are going to happen.
Right.
It is 110% proof that you are watching prophecies of God unfold, just like the brothers and sisters did in ancient Egypt.
That's right.
It is amazing. We are actually literally watching the end of these empires come to fruition before our eyes.
Right.
And so to me, it's, I know this ain't everybody's topic, but to me, it's extremely fascinating to see this go down. And I don't know if y'all heard, I'm sure y'all heard this, that they announced on CNN 2 nights ago that a Latino brother, Issacharite brother, died in Ukraine. And what they revealed about this Issacharite brother was that he was a military contractor from the United States.
Damn.
Which is colossal. In that, what that means is that the U.S. is basically on the ground in Ukraine.
Right.
They are at de facto war with Ukraine, and in that war, they're just using contractors instead of uniformed military soldiers.
Right.
And Russia's doing the same because Russia got Chechenian soldiers on the ground in Ukraine as well. So Ukraine is getting ready to turn into a hellhole.
Right.
Because of course, now we understand why those $33 billion paychecks
Right.
was going over there, because the people using them weapons are U.S. soldiers.
Exactly.
Or ex-soldiers, or whatever the case might be, under military contracts. Those are your Blackwater guys and all of them guys. They all pouring into the country, getting $100,000 a year. That's probably where the most of that money is going to.
That's right. Mercenaries.
Right. They're going in there getting $100,000 a year and, battling Putin soldiers back, which means this thing, man, could spread and spill, and it is glorious, man. But if you could, I'd read that article and we could all jump in on this.
Sir.
So, lucky, sir. Is that those soldiers that get paid like that? Those are like mercenaries, right, sir?
They very close to I guess you could call them mercenaries, because what they just simply are is a private company. They got soldiers. They well train them in these mountains, and you could bring us back, Mushat. They well train us. They well train us in the mountains. Train them soldiers in the mountains, and then they work for certain companies, and then other nations can hire them. So I guess you dead right. Those in essence are modern day mercenaries.
Salaki.
Go ahead, Doc.
It's so heavy too, General. I was talking to Captain. I thought about this not too long ago, but like you saying, there's mercenaries going down there, and a mercenary don't have a national allegiance to a country.
No,
like they're a soldier of fortune. So you can't expect mercy from a mercenary. Like they going in there, and now it's like a power vacuum, because now everybody, the Russian got their people that they may have proxy warred up, but they bringing them in, and they bring in people who have allegiance to them, and a lot of them places in Ukraine already switched to the Russian side anyway. They just happen to be a city in Ukraine, but they have allegiance to Russia. So they bringing in all kind of people. So like I just want to add that in.
Cut you off. Go ahead, please.
No, that was it, John.
Okay, Con. Listen, what you saying is so right and so true. You know what I mean? And our tribes, that's why our job is so damn important. Throw the brother back up one more time. Our job is so important. You understand? Because this brother is one of the tribes. You know what I mean? And instead of him being on the streets out there with a microphone trying to wake up brothers and feed the tribes and bring his people back. He's over there in Ukraine trying to get a fortune fighting, and then lost his life over there trying to get a fortune fighting, you understand, for Esau's battle. And like you said, a mercenary has no rules of engagement.
No,
he's not even legitimately, you know, a soldier on the battlefield. That's why you ain't never heard of him. They keep saying Ukrainian citizens are fighting back, but they got military contractors in there actually doing the fighting.
God.
And Salaki, sir,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm wrong with this too, but I think that is what America used to, like, back in the day, to fight England, like mercenaries, like people from all over to fight England themselves. You
Yes, they
understand what I'm
did.
saying?
Yeah,
So it's
they
like
called them
Esau
merchant
known
marines.
for doing stuff like that.
Khan, Slogger to cut you over. Khan.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. They call them merchant marines as well. That's a whole nother set. But even they got rules of engagement. But mercs don't have no. They do whatever the hell they want to do.
Gotcha.
I mean, they supposed to adhere to the Geneva Convention rules of engagement, but who they gonna be accountable for?
Right.
If they make it up out of there, they just gone. Don't nobody know who hired them. They ain't wearing no uniform.
Right.
You understand? No insignias, nothing. Go ahead, Khan. Salam.
So like, John, I just wanted to say, like you were talking about Blackwater, the dude that was over Blackwater, Eric Prince.
Yeah.
How they was calling him a viceroy. Dealing with Afghanistan, meaning a person that's like a set up or propped up government that answers, like he's almost like a king.
Dang.
Like you take certain provinces and you got a mercenary group that takes certain provinces. They label him a term called a viceroy.
Dang.
Like meaning he don't answer to the state. He don't answer to,
That's
you know what I'm saying? Like he do whoever he pay him, they come in there and roughshot the whole thing, and all the people is, you know what I'm saying, under him.
Yes,
and he control where the resources go and so forth. Who gets what? Salaki.
Listen, you right. I'm gonna jump back in real quick too, because you know what that spells. That is the prelude to knights. That's how knights came about. Knights were like mercenaries taking over certain territories with their soldiers, and then the king gave them territories to rule over, to help strengthen his kingdom.
Yeah.
And as a result, he was able to decide where people lived, who got housing, who fed, who didn't, and him and his soldiers ran the show. And to show you this place is descending out like crazy, which is great. Y'all, go ahead, please.
Yes, sir. Did you hear earlier this week two things about that? I was bringing it out early, but since we're talking about it now, that the defense minister of Australia said to its own country to prepare for war, and then I think it was like 2 days ago, they said that Biden had sent a nuclear sub outside of Ukraine to deter China.
Damn, see that? That's heavy. And let me tell you something. They want Russia off the map bad for this reason. They know, first of all, the most powerful military semiconductors are made in Taiwan. Taiwan got a monopoly on the latest technology when you're talking about weapons and jets and all of that. So whoever rules Taiwan could in essence rule the world. Like you couldn't build a new fighter jet faster and better without the Taiwanese computer chips. And so they, and what China and America know, which is so heavy, how they study these things so many years in advance, they know that eventually the Chinese population is going to decline. Their society is too big, it's too inflated. So they know eventually economically they're going to start to come down. And they said that in their study, they found out that if China does not dominate the world within this decade, then it could turn around and fall in decline and fall down to like the 5th or 6th nation in the world, which means that they don't have but any choice but to eventually invade Taiwan. And now with Taiwan, the United States controls every island off of the port of China, from going north and south, from Japan all the way down. The United States is down with all of them countries and Australia, which means anything that China want to ship in or out got to pass through some of those U.S. different ports that are control. They other countries, but the U.S. control them. But they said if China takes Taiwan, China no longer has to pass through any waterways next to the U.S. and the U.S. could not cut them off. And on top of that, they'll have the latest technology, and they could basically just cut the U.S. off the technology or slow them down, and there's nothing the U.S. could do but go to war. So they're saying that, man, that China has got to have Russia survive, because if Russia didn't survive, then China would be on its own in their millennial fight that's coming up. And they'd have to take on Taiwan and the United States and all its allies by itself. And it doesn't want to do that. So it's going to try to back Russia to get the game going so they can stay in the battle. And boy, oh boy, I mean, it's a lockdown. It's a complete lockdown. Computer chips and oil the Lord has reduced their empires down to two or three things that they must have. And whoever controls it controls the whole empire, which means, once again, they got to go to war. They don't have a choice. They're going to have to fight. They're going to have to take Taiwan, or the U.S. is going to have to back them and win. And so, and their technology, they said that their technology for their chips is just ridiculous. Nobody could even duplicate it. They said it takes billions upon hundreds of billions to attempt to duplicate their plant. They're building, the Taiwanese are building a chip plant right now in Texas. And they said that chip plant, they're spending $50 billion to build this chip plant. And they said that chip plant, when it's built, a year after that chip plant is built, the technology in that plant will be no longer useful. It'd be obsolete 1 year after they build it, but they still spending $50 billion to build it. So they trapped up. So they gotta back up Russia, which, like you just brought out, I.S.U.P.K, means they're getting more and more drugged down into a quagmire over there in Ukraine. And it is beautiful because it is the Lord's prophecy, man. It's the Lord's prophecy right in them. Right in those parts. And listen, any Christian out there is supposed to want to see that happen. You're supposed to want to see Christ's kingdom come in. You praying every day saying, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Well, keep praying. It's coming. Yeah, it's coming right before your eyes. You know what I mean?
Khan, if I could. Okay.
Damn right.
Go ahead, Khan.
Khan, I was going to say, if I could, in all the nations, which you brought up so heavy, Commander GEN.YAHANNA, all the nations are so intertwined in a few of these things that even Germany is caught in between the war, because Germany is getting most of all of its natural gas and resources from Russia. And they said Germany is paying billions to Russia over for his natural gas, that Russia's not going to go broke. You understand? So they really hurt over that. Germany doesn't know what to do on that. So they're going to continue to fuel Russia's fight. You know, and all these countries so interconnected.
You right. Because they could literally lose their if Russia really wanted to, if they stepped it up, if Russia really wanted to, Russia, like you bringing out, could pull the plug on them. I think they already pulled it on Belarus, and they pulled it on two countries already. And they said the economy in them countries, brother, is diving right now in those two countries. I think it's in this same article you about to read. That the economy is diving on these countries. It's like you said, Kapash, it's too integrated. Anything that they sanction on him, you could best believe it's coming over here. Right. That's why they pouring so much. They done poured almost $100 billion into Ukraine already.
Right.
That's how high the stakes are. So they know this is damn near it's almost a winner take all.
If I could too, sir, they also said that England, the UK also is being affected by this, and they looked at that America couldn't even supply what they need because it'll be too expensive for them, and they was really relying on Russia.
Yeah, France too. Go ahead, Khan Salaki.
Now, I just want to say that's why a lot of these countries that have a political side that believe in being an isolation, because they said a global economy right now is going to lead to a global world war. Because like you said, everything is so integrated, and every country is relying on another country for the either outsource or input with their economy. So they looking at that. A lot of them isolationists in these different governments are picking up steam now, because they look at their government like, look what you done dragged us into. We should have stayed separate. We should have stayed out of this. So they gotta fight a political war with them. And with Biden sending all that money over there, now everybody's saying, look, all this money you sending is putting it like, where all this money coming from? Well, you need to relieve student debt then if you're gonna be sending all this money over there. And like so now it's like, you know what I'm saying, the opponents in these other countries picking up steam too. And some of them is almost nigh to a coup.
Right.
Some of these countries that get involved in this, they on borrowed time. A lot of these they're gonna be overthrowing some of these governments. Yeah. Because they're getting too deep. They look at the clock like, hold on. Like we getting too deep in this now. Now who you pledge allegiance to, our country or Ukraine? You pledge allegiance to our country or Russia. So now, like the scriptures say, every nation gonna turn back to their own people. Like it's some of them countries is they on the verge about 2 seconds of we picking up the newspaper and seeing they overthrew the government.
Yeah.
I think France is one of them because they just had the election. And I think Macron, I think he won it, and they in the streets right now trying to, you know what I mean?
Right. You mean he stole it? You mean he stole it? remember, France was burning about 4 years ago.
Yes,
when in the yellow vest, the I think it was the truck drivers or the transportation people had turned France on its head. That's when Macron was begging UK not to leave Brexit because UK was like the anchor holding down them poorer countries, but UK know they could survive on their own. So when they pull out, they leave him in shambles.
Damn.
And that's why he had to go and try and circumvent the public now and do all kind of ratch and propaganda to stay in office. But them, as you saying, Russia was their breadbasket.
Yeah.
Russia was like the Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Whole Foods closed now.
God.
So they're under pressure. They're under so much pressure. And China, as he was bringing out, General, they done spread themselves so thin in the last 2 decades with all these cheap contracts in different countries.
Yeah.
Trying to get all the money. It's only a matter of time. If they don't rule, they're gonna fall. Like they put all the chips on the table.
Yes.
And they're waiting for that roulette, that baccarat thing to stop spinning. And that ball just bouncing.
Yes.
Bouncing all over the place. Now we win or we lose. Go. Win, lose. Like that's how it is.
Like it's truly a game of musical chairs. When the music stops, somebody ain't gonna have a chance. And if I could, real quick, also too, it's funny you brought out that's a good point you brought out, Kahan, because they came out this week and said that the Chechens are fighting on both sides of the war. You got the Chechen president and his army fighting on Putin's side. And you got a whole nother set of Chechen soldiers fighting on the Ukrainian side. So you got Chechens killing Chechens in Ukraine on both sides of the damn war, which is what we get ready to see all in a ton more of these countries, man. Like you said, like it's going to be, and if I could again, okay, it's never before. Okay, 5 years ago. Now y'all tell me if you saw this the same way. 5 years ago, it did not look like these countries were so fragile. They looked strong when they was bombing Iraq, bringing shock and awe, and all up in there in Afghanistan. Remember, they putting hoods on guys, shipping them to Guantanamo Bay.
You
understand? Secret black sites, and they was just moving all over the earth how they wanted to 5, 6 years or 10 years ago. But it's like now they seem so fragile now.
Right.
Because like the Lord said, uncover the leg, uncover the skirt. I'm paraphrasing. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like now it's like they look so fragile. And now, which is once again, if this is what's going to help raise up the truth, in that people are going to be, black people especially, going to be able to, and Latinos, oh my goodness, we're going to be able to see how fragile they are, and we're going to start to gravitate looking for the Lord.
Absolutely.
We're going to start looking for, what are we going to do? Because they're going to be looking so, they already, after Donald Trump, they already look dumb as hell. They're going to start looking fragile and dumb, which is going to be ridiculous. They don't even respect Kamala Harris, which means they're going to really start looking bad. And brother, that's going to bring brothers and sisters in the truth by the drove. They're going to realize, I got to do something because this world is falling apart. I got to get right with the Lord. And they're going to hear the prophets of the I.S.U.P.K, and they're going to come in that door exactly like we said they was. Exactly like we said they said. We said they would.
If I could, please. You said, I remember a couple of Passovers ago, you said a couple of Passovers that we had not too long ago, where you said, General, at the Passover, that America is an illusion. Now, you said you prophesied that at the Passover, and you said, you told everybody at that Passover, you said, hey, we ain't got much time left. America is an illusion now. And that right there is like you prophesied that, and we seeing it right now. And it seemed strange back then because people didn't believe it. But now we seeing the manifestation of that prophecy right now.
We sure like you said. It's like all of a sudden it don't seem so damn stable.
Right.
You know what I mean? Food. When the hell you ever heard of food shortages in the United States of America?
Right.
When you ever heard of that? You heard of empty shelves in the United States of America. All them wheat fields and fields across this country. When the hell you ever heard of transportation problems in the United States of America?
Right.
You understand? When the hell hard times might have come where your finances got lean, but not the shelves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The shelves didn't get empty. And now we seeing so much of that now. And it's insane. And it's going to get even worse. Salaka, go ahead,
and if I could, what you're bringing out is so heavy, because one of the major things that happened, which was kind of recent, was what happened in Afghanistan when they pulled out Afghanistan, and all the old Al-Qaeda cats that was in the mountains, they came out celebrating, taking the whole country back, throwing the helicopters. They walking around and seeing the old helicopters. The whole world stage was looking at that like America not really what it ain't looking like what we thought it was. Like the unstoppable domination power. Like, why are they pulling out? And
pull out so shamefully. Go ahead, Zalaki.
And I was gonna say, if I could, a lot of people don't know Ukraine is the largest and most independent of the former Soviet Union states.
That's right.
And so, like you said, they putting out all the marbles with Russia is putting the high stakes game in Ukraine, because once they get Ukraine, that basically locks up the board with for the rest of the Soviet Union countries. They're going to look at Ukraine and say, well, Ukraine was the strongest, most independent out of us. It's time for us all to bow back down to Mother Russia. And that's where they're going to be at.
Yeah.
And Salaki said, as you talk more shortage, I looked it up, right? And I overheard it. They were talking about it on the news, but it said that I think like 35% of the world's wheat come from Ukraine and Russia. So they say the longer the war conflict goes on, the higher the your flour and stuff might, price might go up.
Which means they drawing in, like Kapa's bringing out, they drawing into the damn third world war with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if they the biggest exporter, the most independent country in Eastern Europe and they being dragged down into this mess. And if I could, I forgot about this. This week they came out and said that the Chinese set up a Afghanistanian development office in Afghanistan to build their infrastructure up. They went and cut the deal with the Chinese communists right after they got the U.S. the hell up out of there. Chinese gonna come up in there now. They finna have condos in Afghanistan, man.
China playing that long game, so they're playing them numbers real good.
They showed their brother. They on the TV. They shaking hands with the Chinese. Them Chinese coming in there with a train full of cash. They like, thank you. They fully in agreement with them Chinese. It's a mess.
Yeah.
It is an absolute mess, and it means the freedom of our nation, man.
That's
it means Christ's kingdom will be established on the earth. These 12 tribes will rule the face of this earth, and everybody is going to see it, and they should fear the Most High and do His will, man. You know what I'm saying? Can we? I don't want to leave without reading the article, though. I know y'all want to get off of it, but could we just read some of it? Because
Kawaka, sir. Which one you want, Sidi? The submarine one or
the one you sent me one. Which one was it? It was one about Ukraine, and I had went back and read it. I could pull it up.
I'm gonna see which one it is.
It was a good article because it said some stuff in there. I could even read the late half if you want, or I tell Kazak where. Let me pull it up if I could.
Number 8.
And if you could,
2 Ukraine articles, 8 and 9.
Okay, what's the first one on? Let me get with you.
The first one is a new realization dawns for Washington, Europe.
That's the one.
Kawaka.
That's
Kiev.
the one. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Hit it.
No sweat, sir. This week was the week when the war in Ukraine truly transitioned from one nation's bloody fight for liberation against Russia's vicious onslaught to a potentially years-long great power struggle.
Now tell me that ain't the walk into the Third World War.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Like it ain't now. This ain't Ukraine trying to get liberated. They know they all going in there for the long game. They stuck. They stuck already. Just like the scripture said that the Lord said that He would muster the host of the battle. That He would draw them in. You understand? Go ahead, Salakia.
Kawaka. Every day brought a sense of grave historic events and decisions that will not just decide who wins the biggest land war between two countries in Europe since World War II, but will shape the course of the rest of the 21st century. President Joe Biden declared Thursday that 2 months of fighting in the war triggered by Russian President Vladimir Putin's unprovoked invasion had brought the world to a critical point. Throughout our history, we've learned that when dictators do not pay the price for their aggression, they cause more chaos and engage in more aggression, Biden said. They keep moving, and the cost, the threats to America and the world keep rising. We can't let this happen. Hawkish British Foreign Secretary Liz Truss was more blunt. Geopolitics is back. Over just a few days, a new realization dawned in Washington, Europe, Kiev, and Moscow. The war is now transitioning into a long, bitter struggle, which will likely cost thousands more lives and tens of billions of dollars.
You hear that? A long, bitter struggle. It will cost tens of thousands of dollars and tens of thousands of lives, billions of dollars. Like they in it. They in that biblical prophecy. Them hooks is in Russia. They spilling in it. Go ahead, Salaki.
General, if I could.
Please.
Like how they say in the article, this thing threatens America's way of life and this and that. And in times past when America living deliciously and don't have a care in the world, things threatened our life and they didn't care. Like this picture here, this video, and then the clip after with Anderson Cooper walking, it looks like Detroit or Baltimore.
Yes, it does.
It looks just like, it looks like a different part, like Detroit. you know, where they have them houses that's abandoned, the streets is like this could be any block right there, where the abandoned buildings. But to them, this is so important. They have to be secure for the future of America. But when it was happening to us, they was telling us pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. Why we this, why we that? And it's like the law telling them, well, no, you pull yourself up. No, you sort your own self out because that destruction coming.
Right. And they were acting like it was our fault.
Right.
That's it. And so like yes, I mean, the Jamaicans, the Haitian, they're living like that right now.
Right.
I mean, their houses, I mean, their roofs have hole in it. Where rainfall, they had to put a bucket to catch the water. You understand? So you know what I mean, like we're living in that, you know what I mean, right now. So you know what I mean. So you know what I mean, I don't see the difference.
Listen, I think you Slocky, go ahead. Somebody else was jumping in.
I was gonna say, Khan, if I could, also like a cat. You want to say something?
No, go ahead. I'll wait.
I was gonna say, and if you notice this is the same way that World War II started. Germany lost some land when they lost the war, and they wanted to reclaim that land. And the world looked back and said, well, okay, well, that used to be Germany's land anyway. Let's let it take back that land. But Germany didn't stop there. Germany kept moving. Then other countries started joining in. So this is the same thing with Russia. Russia lost land. Some people across the world will say, hey, that used to be Russia's land anyway.
Right.
You know, and when Russia gets it, it's not going to stop.
Right.
Yep. It's not going to stop.
If I could bring some parallel to that also, back in times past, in the late 1800s, when the Spanish-American War was over, America invaded Puerto Rico, and they had a massacre upon entering Puerto Rico in their invasion. And the world did not say, America, you're terrorizing the Puerto Ricans.
Right.
In fact, it was almost like a cheerleading that America did this. And now you see them dead bodies in that video, and now it's a sad sob story. There was no sad sob story for us, all the brothers and sisters on Wounded Knee, or the Trail of Tears, or even in the ghettos, or even when we grew up in the 70s and in the 80s in these cities, like the Bronx, for instance. You know, there was nothing like that. Another thing, if I could, sir, is this also like a parallel to Isaiah 23 of what's going on right now?
Read it.
Okay, sir. It says, I'm going to start at verse 1. The burden of Tyre, how, ye ships of Tarshish, for it is laid waste, so that there is no house, no entering in. From the land of Chittim, it is revealed to them. Verse 2. Be still, ye inhabitants of the isles, whom the merchants of Zidon that passes over the sea have replenished. And by great waters, the seed of Sihar, the harvest of the river, is her revenue, and she is a mark of nations. Verse 4. Be thou ashamed, O Zidon, for the sea hath spoken, even the strength of the sea, saying, I travail not, nor bring forth children. Neither do I nourish up young men, nor bring up virgins. Verse 5, as at the report concerning Egypt, so shall they be sorely pained at the report of Tyre.
You see that? They're gonna be sorely. Boy, you hit it dead on the nail. They're gonna be sorely afraid at the report of Tyre. Tyre, you know, is like what would be considered. It's our land, but today it's considered Lebanon, like right above at the top of our land. But they said that when they hear about that war going on in Tyre, they're gonna be upset down in Egypt. They're gonna know that in that faraway land that war is going on, but that war means a big problem for us. And that is exactly what that's saying. It's because you could parallel Ukraine the same way. They over here in America, but they thinking about that land. And you know, what's so deep about what you're saying is this too. The so-called Jew is from right there in those Caucasus Mountains.
Right.
He's right there. He hearing about this war. And let me tell you something. A ton of those people that's fighting in those Nazis in Ukraine right now are the ethnic Caucasoids that were in the Khazar Empire. So you know they looking at that like, what's going to happen up there?
Right.
What's going to happen to their country up there? You understand? and they got a main vested interest in how that goes.
Right.
It's bad. And so yeah, that goes with it. Can I give you one other one? In
Come
Daniel
on.
9:24. Y'all know this one. Read that one for me, Kazak.
Come on. Daniel chapter 9, verse 24.
Wait, yeah, start at 23 real quick if y'all don't mind. Really, really quick.
Come on.
It's Saturday night. We can go over a few minutes, right?
Come on.
Yeah. What? Go ahead.
Daniel. Come on, sir. Daniel chapter 9, verse 23. At the beginning of thy supplications, the commandment came forth, and I am come to show thee, for thou art greatly beloved.
Right. He came to Daniel to show him this commandment, which is what the Lord has done for us. He said he revealed his secrets to the prophets, don't he?
Right.
This is all being laid out for us, man. And it is, I don't know. I'm not into sports. I'm not into a lot of, things that brothers and sisters are entertained by. But this right here, oh man, this is the playoffs, man.
That's right.
Yes. I got 4 or 5 of them 24-hour YouTube channels from around the world. I'm on there. I'm popping them thing up. My rib looking like, what the hell are you watching? I'm like, you don't understand. It's the prophecy. I gotta sit down and have class with her every night. Just for her to understand why I'm watching the thing. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Therefore, understand the matter and consider the vision. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city to finish the transgression and to make an end of sins and to make reconciliation for iniquity and to bring in everlasting righteousness and to seal up the vision and prophecy and to anoint the most holy.
And so our land, that holy city, the prophecy is coming on that and on us as well. The prophecy. We got but 7 so-called 7 weeks, which is 70 weeks, which is a period of time to get our act together, come out of this world, because Christ is about to get anointed. You understand? As king of the planet in this global thermonuclear war, man. I mean, Salakia. So that was it for me.
And Slakia said, yeah, I mean, I always like to go back on the numbers. America could have pulled black people out of the poverty they're in.
Yes.
It could have more than pulled black people out of the poverty they're in. You know what I mean? And I hope black people, Hispanics and Native Indians seen it. Like, they don't have to have them kids in cages on the border. They could have built a structure, a proper structure to house them Israelites. They could have
now black people could. Elon Musk could have buy the border.
Yes.
He didn't have to buy Twitter. He could have buy the whole border.
Yes.
And house black Hispanic people. You're talking about $44 billion for something that really don't exist. The internet for sure is, it's make believe. You know what I mean? But $44 billion worth of, whether it's man or was it measured, it's in oil, whatever resources is going into something that's virtual, that's not tangible, that's not real. It has a place in our physical existence, but in the end all and be all, the internet is not a real place. But them children in them cages is a real thing. The food, the Haitians, the I.S.U.P.K crossing the border, that's a real thing. And he spends $44 billion with his people. Truth for the freedom, whatever freedom of speech that he might want to give, but that's them children still in that cage, as you say. You know what I mean? You're so right. Like they got money to just splurge and burn.
Yeah, like they go ahead. You was gonna say something? No, I think Kahan was about to say something. Go ahead, Kahan.
Oh, la, sir. I yield, sir.
Okay, Salaki. Was somebody else trying to jump in? Well, let me tell you something, if I could. Who was it that was just bringing out how it looked the same? Was that you, Ash? When you looked down at somebody was bringing out how, while you was showing that satellite photo, how it looked like Detroit. Who was that?
That was
Mashak. You was bringing it up. Like they've been watching us in utter poverty, and they've been to them war zones. They know that our neighborhoods look like them war zones.
That's right.
They know it looked exactly the same.
Right.
And they just treat us just like any third world country. They just manage us.
Right.
You understand? But they, like you said, they could have ended all of this a long time ago. But that's not in their interest. Their interest is to just feed their friends from different countries, regardless of what happens to us. We done had many riots over this. Watts all over the place. You know what I mean? Even before Rodney King, there was riots. Michael Brown, Ferguson, there was tons of them. Forget about going back in the 70s and 60s. We was burning down cities and rioting over this oppression for years and years and years, and they already know it. But they make it like we don't know what's going on, or we trying to fix it, or we gonna make it better, or we gonna put some money towards it. We gonna try to fix the thing. When meanwhile, they have allowed it to go on, and now, like the scripture said, hell from beneath has come to meet thee coming. Go ahead, Cap.
General, it's like you read about, that's the exact scripture that I would think about. That's the spirit, because the Christians always talk about hell, but that scripture there shows that hell is not stationary. Hell is mobile.
Yeah,
it moved to meet them, General. That's what that was going on like that. And they trying to reposition, but the Lord got a GPS for them, and it's tracking. It's wherever they at, it's gonna meet them. And they can't escape it now. You know what I'm saying? Like they see this thing, they see the writing on the wall. You know what I'm saying? And a black man today was talking to me at the laundromat. He said, "Man, it's a shame that we got to pay gas because these white folks couldn't get along." It shocked me.
Damn.
I said, "Damn." He said, "Man, we at the gas, we over at the close by the gas station." He said, "Man, look at that sign." It's just a brother out of nowhere. He said, "Man, so you see how we got to pay for gas?" I said, "Yeah, man, that's crazy." He said, "Man, we doing all this. Black people doing all this because white people can't get along." I said, "Show you right. Show you right, brother."
Yeah. Yeah. It's good. Like all people waking up now, like this is so good. It's a good thing for for us to see. We paying for it, but you pay. You're like damn, they're paying for education now. Now you're paying, and as you're paying, you're learning.
Hey, Captain Shock is so heavy. Go ahead. No, I just want to piggyback on what Captain amplify what Captain Shock said. It's so heavy, Captain. You said, it's like with these scriptures, the Bible say, "Buy the truth and sell it not." You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna learn the scriptures, then you're gonna earn the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? So it's heavy.
If I could, I'm coming back to you now. Hebrew's sister in the chat room said the majority of Black city of Detroit is opening its doors to refugees from Afghanistan and Ukraine. They receive all kinds of resources: housing, education, transportation, clothing, legal, medical services, you name it. Dang.
Khan, if I could, Ottawa, I was just under your tutelage, I.S.U.P.K. We was at the naturalization ceremony of Indianapolis as greeters, and so I'm in there expecting to run into some I.S.U.P.K, some Haitians, and some tribes. Is few and far in between. Few number. It was about 2 or 3 I.S.U.P.Kites, about 2 or 3 Haitians, about 100, 200 Ukrainians, Arabs, and every other thing coming in.
Right. And they came out. They said, I forget who it was, but I'm coming back to you now. But they said this week they asked some politician about should the Ukrainians be coming across. They said tons of Ukrainians are coming across the Mexican border. Should they be coming across the Mexican border? He said, hell no. He said, because the border is a damn mess. They should be being flown straight into the country. I said, well, damn. Wow. I said, well, damn. Like he didn't even care. They ain't even trying to hide that they hate the other tribes, man. They ain't even trying to hide it no more. To him, it was like, it's ridiculous that they coming through the border.
Right.
They should just be coming into the country and hitting the immigration and not even have to deal with no border patrol or being questioned by the border patrol or none of that. Would show you we in 2 different worlds. And in this evil place, it's like a crime for you to say the truth of what's happening. That's what's really going on. And it's like you are racist for talking about it. You are racist for talking about the racism they doing to us every day. It's crazy, man.
If I could, sir, I slaved in San Diego, so we seen a lot of those Ukrainians come through, and they pushing their visas real fast too. The work visas, they getting the work visas faster than what you would ever get. You know what I mean? No process at all. So yeah, they pushing it through for them for sure.
And
letting them get all set up, which show you. Salaki Gahalda, did I cut you off?
No, that was Captain Kahan, sir.
Okay, it's real quick. Would show you that they could do whatever they want to do. You know what I'm saying? They act like, well, we got to get you through immigration. Well, it's a problem at the border. They could do whatever they wake up and decide whatever. They could just do it. Just as they doing it for the Ukrainians. It's crazy, man. I'm sorry, not talking Kahan. Salaki.
God, John. Like they need to pull themselves up by the Ukrainian bootstraps. That's what they need to do.
Yeah.
Like they always, every time I turn on the TV, I see Zelensky begging. He begging for more bullets. He begging for more guns. He always begging. He getting welfare money. He getting welfare money from the State Department. Always begging in that Under Armour camo green T-shirt he wearing in the basement.
God,
damn, you're right.
Ridiculous.
You're right. A $33 billion welfare check.
And so like I said, if I could say this too, you know what I mean? It's almost like in the 80s when they was pushing crack, you know what I mean, like cocaine in our community, right? With the Iran Contra scandal, right? Like the push that they destroy black people. Now the Lord send an opioid problem to them with that fentanyl. Now their people dying, which showing you, you know what I mean, we don't have to fight, you know what I mean, our oppressor. The Lord will use his same weapon against him. He used drugs against us and and guns. Well, the Lord gonna put it right back on them. You know what I mean? Let them go fight. That war is, you know what I mean, that war is justice. You know what I mean?
If I could, also behind that, because some of the thought was like that when Captain Michelle was showing that video and we seen the dead bodies on the ground, and the whole world got to feel sorry for that. But I remember when that crack epidemic hit, and we seen the dead bodies of our brothers and sisters on the streets of America laying out. It was like, this is the criminal element, but for them, it's, oh man, this is a terrible thing, man, that's happening to them. You know what I'm saying? Well, it'll bite them back right there. And just to throw in that, they getting with them coming over the border like that. It's just first class naturalization. That's what it is for them. Meanwhile, our brothers and sisters don't get that treatment.
And Jared, it's almost to the point where that speaking they did at camp, where you told your brother, you know what I mean, you don't know him, but he's a black man and he means something. You understand? America don't know them people in Ukraine, but it means something to them because they're white skin. You understand? So they mean something to them. You understand what I'm saying? It's almost like like they turning the news on and they're seeing their kids lay out in the streets, their wives, their husband laid out in the streets. This has to stop. You know what I mean? Is same.
And if I could, I got a scripture because it ain't gonna stop. The scriptures, Joel 3:9 says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles: prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I'm strong." And it goes more and more into it. It ain't gonna stop for them. This is just the beginning. And like you said, Commander GEN.YAHANNA, this is our hope. This is what we want. This is what we prophesied on the streets. This is what we told them. Get ready for it.
That's right.
And generally, if I could, so like how you always teach us always to go back to the roots, you know what I mean, and look at the history of it. Like before all this thing with Ukraine, like they don't ever teach us the history of these empires. We learn the history of America and the war of independence and this and that and the pilgrims. But just Putin had made a statement, and it kind of made me want to know more. He had said, in paraphrasing, really like telling the world, mind your business. We fight in an old war. Same people. And I went and looked up that whole history of Russia. Like them is the same. Them people is originally them Viking people that just came south and grabbed more land and more land, and at one time was fighting against Constantinople, which was one of the main powers of the world, trying to fight against Rome, and end up taking them. And that's that area there, right above there, is that Kiev. So from Kiev all the way up to Moscow, they've been fighting for about 800, damn near 1,000 years since the 9th and 10th century. Oh, and just what's going on now? One little group after a while will defect because they don't like the ruler, and they go into a whole civil war. And then the Moabites gonna come in, and they'll hire Moabite mercenaries to help push the West back. And then Poland would come in and try to break up the West. At one time, they was calling Moscow the third Rome because they was damn near coming up against that whole Western thing. And now you see it damn near again, where now America done take over from where Rome is, trying to pull them on one side. And that's why that statement he made, I was like, how he saying this is an old war, they fight it? I went and looked the whole thing up. This thing been a cycle for about 1,000 years with them.
Wow.
A whole cycle. You go all the way from them Vikings, one of them, the Rurik dynasty. He went back up and hired, they call them, we call them mercenaries now, but he called them the berserkers. That's a Viking name, berserk, which means you just pay to go crazy. That's where you get berserker from.
Oh,
and get them and bring them down, and they wiped out all them Vikings, all them areas, all them,
they went berserk.
It's like a tribe of Vikings that they just hire to come and go berserk. When you go and read up the little kings they had, how they was killed their sons for power and all kind of things. So this thing what's going on here with Ukraine and Zelensky, like this is a old war. Like America think they could stop, but they can't stop that thing.
If I could, Cap, just to amplify what you're saying about that whole thing, they had I think it was a psychologist or somebody, or no, it was a historical professor or something, that he was talking about Putin, how he looked at history, and they said he has a strange way of looking at history. But like you said, those other, going by the critical race theory, that they teach their culture, their people, a different history than than America teach their children. Exactly. Like every culture, like he's talking about, like you said, the old war and how things went. They have a different narrative on how life should be and how history is portrayed when it comes to their nation. And that they're saying that his point of view of history is what leads him into this war. And like the general brought out, it's going to lead every nation into the war because everyone got a stake of how things should be and how their nation should be governed. And that right there is like the Lord, like what the Bible, like how he did with the Tower of Babel. When it was one, he going to confuse the nations. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was one language and one speech. Now we're not going to understand each other. We don't understand the same history. We don't understand the same culture. None of that. We all going back. The Lord about to hit the reset button on this place.
Yeah,
that's right.
And the news ain't coming out fully on Israel and Palestine. How they're going at it right now too. You know what I mean? They're fully going at it right now. Like it's gonna be, you know what I mean, it's gonna be real bad. Real bad.
It's gonna be like it said in Ezra, they shall not listen to their kings. Yeah, man. Like they getting real at that point where they ain't gonna be listening to too much governments in a minute.
Nah.
They're doing whatever the hell they want to do. And it's going to be up to the government to try to contain everything that they're doing. It really, I was just telling the brothers the other day that it feels very much like the fall of Rome. That's how Rome fell, right? It feels like, Rome had all these skirmishes inside and outside with other groups on their borders and all of that. And it started to spell the decline of Rome. The minute certain territories could not be protected, it emboldened other groups to say, well, damn, they couldn't protect Afghanistan.
Right.
They couldn't, they lost over here and they lost over here. Maybe they can get taken. And it's going to cause them other groups to get stirred up. You know what I'm saying?
So if I can add to what you said with the Rome situation, with Rome, even as far as the homosexuality. You know what I mean? Even as far as the transgender situation and all that was the end of the fall of Rome as well. You know what I mean? All that transgender and binary, all that crap. That was towards the end. So, you know, it's just the same exact thing, like you said.
And if I could, what would happen if Donald Trump get back in office? How he gonna play the game?
Oh man, him and Putin gonna be cool as a cucumber. He gonna let Putin take all of Ukraine. He almost shut down NATO. Remember when he was in power?
Yep.
He almost shut down NATO. But I don't think they're gonna let him give him a shot to run. I think that they're gonna indict him. I think they're gonna indict him just so he can't get back in office.
They're trying hard to for sure make sure he ain't able to come back.
Yeah.
See how Biden run it. If he's free to run again, it's going to be a landslide victory. They're even going to be a fight. Like they're going to have to create a Manchurian candidate to beat Trump. And somebody out with a drone or something. You know what I mean? To come and beat him, because the way how, I mean, everybody, even the so-called Democrats who supported Biden and Kamala was shocked at some of the things they did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Democrats, because of their whole their moral integrity, they'll turn court quickly. They're not like these Republicans who is, my daddy was this and my daddy was his pappy was that, and I'm gonna be a Republican. They're not like that.
That's true. And them Republicans is unified and motivated.
Yeah.
They unified and motivated. Them Democrats, they trying to push immorality.
Yeah.
Like, ain't nobody motivated by it just because you want some sodomite to have his way and all of this. And something Kahan brought out earlier, that they find out that they all degenerates now, them sodomite, because remember when they were trying to get the license to marry, you know what I'm saying? They remember they were acting like we just want the right to marry like other people do. We just want, they were showing up in the courthouse in matching suits on with flowers on their lapels, trying to show themselves to be good citizens. And then the minute they passed the law and let them all get married, they came back out how they really was. On drugs, psychopaths, serial killers, doing all kind of madness. You understand? And you hear about Disney. Disney said some of the employees in Disney said they put alternative lifestyle clips in every single Disney movie they could find. They said everywhere they could, they pushed that kind of lifestyle. So that's why that governor took away they status. They said that Disney was running that part of Florida like it was its own country. And they had passed the law to make it like it was their own country. They had their own police, their own city government. Like all that was run inside Disney. They was like their own sovereign country. While pushing every kind of evil agenda on children. You know what I mean? And I was bringing this out on the Wednesday show. It to me, as a matter of fact, oh man, I forgot about this. Just yesterday, I think it was yesterday, the day before, DeSantis, the governor of Florida, passed the bill that I just talked about on Wednesday, where he passed that bill saying that the kids got to learn how to hold a bank account, how to deal with a credit card, how to you heard that they called it like some kind of civics bill.
They bring it back civics. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and he just signed it in law because we were talking about it Wednesday, how insane it was that you go to school from the time you 5-6 years old till you 18 and don't learn nothing about civics, nothing about morals, nothing about none of that, nothing about how to interact with other people, nothing about proper and improper behavior, nothing about how to open a bank account, how to maintain a bank account, how to deal with the progression of life. You go to work, you save certain money, the importance of buying a home, none of that, no family structure, conflict resolution, none of that taught in school. And as a result, people on the street going crazy. And the pandemic helped it. It's crazy. It's crazy. We were taught here how not to learn. Meanwhile, white people is in the top universities learning what they call behavioral intelligence or something like that. I forget the proper term for it. They over there learning, how to deal with intelligent behavior. What's it called?
They got critical thinking. They got I forgot the other word. I know you're talking about though. It's
Yeah,
almost along the lines of civics.
It's something like intelligent
Emotional
behavior.
intelligence.
It might be emotional intelligence. That might be it. I think you hit it on it. It's like they teaching them how to function as a human being on the earth, man, and not be brainwashed like that. Critical thinking. Critical thinking fights against brainwash.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that ain't being taught to our people. Maybe barely. And all them years in school from a child. But meanwhile, this LGBT thing, they want to shove it in your kid in kindergarten, and they adamant that it must be taught. They ready to take you to jail. Remember, they was having town meetings over there to make sure your kindergarten and first grader learns this stuff. You know what I mean? That it was important. And one teacher, they said they fired recently because she was in there teaching all her kids, all the students, about the possibility of living an alternative lifestyle. She was damn near teaching it in the class to where the people got in an uproar when they found out their kids was coming home saying, "Mommy, I think I want to be gay. My teacher taught me about this and this and that and that and this." And the damn parents went berserk. They had to suspend her. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna make sure we'll show you what a monster this cat is. He's like a deviant and a monster. He gonna make sure that your kid learn about this sexual demonology. But meanwhile, they ain't gonna even learn how to be a functional human being. When we come out of this, that's why it took us again 40 years in that wilderness. I'm gonna come up off it now because it had to take us that long for us to wash this thing up off of us. You know what I mean? Here they go. It's a human right. Like this got to be respected. But your kid ain't never got to learn how to just function in society. Salaki.
Salaki, John, when we went to the Passover in Florida, I was so tempted, behind this whole don't say gay bill. I was tempted to go to the zoo and, let the person show me all the animals. And I wanted to ask that person, which one of these animals are gay? Because I was tempted to do it. I was tempted, but I had to remember I was given a responsible post in the I.S.U.P.K. and I could not, you know what I'm saying? But I was tempted to go to the zoo and let them show me all the animals, and then I want to ask the question, which one are these animals gay? Because what Disney is doing and how they the indoctrination that they're doing, and all this, we could thank Martin Luther King for all this. Let's not lose sight of Martin Luther King in this picture. Because when we integrate it, now our children are subject to racial and sexual role play by the teacher. They got to literally become the teacher's pet. When it comes to all of these types of lifestyle and things that they subject our children to. You understand? And then this is why the I.S.U.P.K. under Command GEN.YAHANNA is so important. You understand? Because we give that universal practical knowledge, things you can apply to help our children become functional people. This creates dysfunction. Yeah. You understand what goes on with this, with the LGBTQI mafia? And like I said, we're gonna be going into the dark side of the rainbow. UPK, we gonna be going into it. Don't think that we're gonna just let this go on and we not bring out all these stories. We're gonna investigate the dark side of that rainbow. Yeah. So you stay tuned. Salaki, gentlemen.
If I could too, so like as Kahan just saying, that universal practical knowledge, like the Lord, He really is a father, and you know, as men, we very simple creatures, not simple and slow, but we're very plain, and 1 + 1 is 2. Like the Lord took us out of the whole world for 2 years by force. Like in the scripture say, "Come out of her, my people." The Lord literally made us come out of America for 2 years. So much so the OnlyFans crash. All the strip club clothes.
Sure did.
Man couldn't sell. And for once, as you was bringing up in the radio show, parents realized how much there wasn't parents. You get to sit home with the kids, and you got a chance to see what the child was learning, what they learned in school, and what they was watching on that damn TV. So now that the world so-called reopened, you know how to have that practical knowledge. You how to have that critical thinking. Now you've gotten a peek into what you would have not seen if you was frolicking all over the world for the last 2 years to your carnival and your Vegas and your Happy New Year and the ball dropping and working your 40 hours and giving these kids to these damn deviants and wondering in 10 years, you my child, but I don't know you. Got an insight for 2 years to see what are you going to do now going forward? What changes are you going to make sure that you equip your child, if you're going to have them still go and face these deviants, to say, yo, that ain't right. No, I'm not learning that. Where's the math curriculum for today? You know, they want to force all this lifestyle on us, and you had a chance to see it for 2 years. The Lord stopped the earth dead for you to really see what's going on. So now to come back here now is damn near like the Lord saying that you really ain't got no excuse now.
Right.
Like you've seen what they've been doing.
Right.
Plain and simple what they've been doing.
If I could too, also, and you're right, Captain. You know, like you could clearly see now after the pandemic, and they took the mask off, that the mask is now really coming off. You can see what's happening right there. We got 2 years for Black Latinos. If you wasn't paying attention, you got to see and focus how this operates. Now they took the mask off. Now it's right there. The LGBT community, like I thank the Most High in Christ for Command GEN.YAHANNA, I.S.U.P.K, and all the brothers and sisters who have children that have been born in the truth, that we can show them this is the world we're trying to stay away from.
That's right.
Water to you, sir.
No time correct. Damn right, brother. Damn right. But to water to all of y'all for y'all strength, man. Y'all amazing, man, in this work, man. Every last one of y'all is amazing, man. You know what I mean? The work you do, how you do it, man. In these cities, man, just standing up against the storm of everything they pouring down on us. And let me tell you something, all of this is going to be a great benefit in the near future, because what's going to happen, let me tell you what's going to happen. As this society descends further into hell, what's going to happen is those of us who understand what's going on and are going to choose the righteousness of the Most High, you're going to become very valuable. Sisters are going to open up daycare centers and homeschooling centers, and as they open them up, they're going to have a certain amount of morals, and parents are going to come in and question them about what do you feed the children? What is your position on homosexuality? What is your this and what is your that? And people are going to come to them. That happened in Egypt with the babies. The Egyptians was pressuring us to kill them babies, and everybody went to the midwives.
Right.
And the midwives kept the babies alive.
Right.
Because once again, all those things that we normally go to the slave master for, just as a normal thing, we're going to start gravitating to our own, because we're going to know that there's a certain moral component that must be involved in everything that we do.
That's right.
A portion of the Lord is going to have to be in it. And brothers and sisters, let me tell you something in Philly, right? There are two sisters who they don't reveal what they are, but I believe they're Hebrew Israelites. And they got a daycare center. And they had it since the days of their mother. But they don't talk about no religion. They don't bring up no religion. They don't talk about no religion. They don't celebrate no holidays, no birthdays. They don't do any of them things. They don't serve no pork. They don't do any of those things. And the parents that go to them love these women. These sisters are beloved by the parents that bring their children to them, because they know that their children is in a special environment. They don't charge no extra money for it. They ain't in a big fancy place. And there are so many parents that are on the outside that are begging for slots to get into their daycare center.
Right.
To where they, you can't even get in, simply because everybody knows them by their reputation of how right they are with the children, and how safe the children are if you have a moral component to your lifestyle. And so those people are going to become valuable. Brothers and sisters that wake up to the truth and open up certain food restaurants and certain things, and that feed a certain way, are going to become valuable. Educators, all that's going to, because as this thing starts to fall apart, everybody is going to innovate. Everybody is going to figure out how to do whatever it is that you're doing. You're going to figure out how to do it without Esau. You're going to have to figure it out. And as you do, it's going to be amazing, which once again, that's what led us to HBCUs. We had to go to us for everything. So we needed doctors, we needed lawyers, we needed dentists, we needed educators. We needed them things because we wanted a certain thing, and that was to not be degraded and abused by Esau. Well, them days is coming back.
That's right.
And you're gonna see us flourish. And there are letters out of Egypt. Last point for me, there are letters out of Egypt where they talk about how angry the Egyptians were because the Hebrews, the Egyptian economy had fallen so bad, and the Hebrews were doing so well. And they were doing so well because they had went to their own, who the Egyptians in past times was able to hire for cheap. Watch what happens when brothers and sisters start coming up with their own McDonald's. Oh my God. Wait till franchises like those start popping up. Because when that starts happening and it starts taking on, they're gonna have a problem. Because now the French fries ain't gonna have 1,000 chemicals in it.
Right.
Now the burgers ain't gonna be made of pretty much soybeans. So now you're gonna have a product that people are gonna be able to enjoy and feel safe that their people are making it, and their people are making it with the understanding that they do not want the thing that they was poisoned by before for so many years. And so of course that burger joint is going to prosper and flourish. Back in the 80s, if you had a black diner back in the early 80s, you became a millionaire, because black diners were so rare, and it was kind of, black people was uncomfortable going to white diners after them going to the clubs. And then the black diners had all kind of other stuff. They didn't just have a regular biscuit. They had cheese biscuits or strawberry cheese biscuits. You know, they had all kind of other stuff. You know what I mean? If you had a Latino restaurant in New York back in the early 80s, forget about it. People could go and get Spanish. I know my favorite. I don't know if they're there today, but I know all my favorite Latino restaurants. I know where they are right now, and I ain't been up there in God knows how long. But I could go take you right to every one of them, because once again, you knew that these Latino brothers and sisters, you know, cooked their food thoroughly, that they was clean, and that you got good Latino food, your chicken, your rice, your plantains, you got everything. You got good customer service, you got politeness, all of that. And so you would gravitate to that. Right. You didn't want to go just buy any old slop. And when you could go here and get a better quality, it was like the brainwashing was off everybody to run to the fast food joint. That happened in Philly as well with the cheesesteak joints. After a while, the cheesesteak, man, when I first came to Philly back in the early 90s, the cheesesteak joints were doing better than McDonald's and Wendy's. You had a cheesesteak place, like you made more money in a night than McDonald's in Philadelphia. Okay, back in the early 90s, because people knew and trusted them cheesesteak spots. You know what I mean? The old lady behind the counter, they knew her. She slinging them onions and all that and kept it. You know what I mean? That's how it was. And that's coming back as this economy falls. It's funny you bring up Geno Steaks, because Geno's, these racist pigs, they turned around and said they don't want no illegals buying their Geno Steaks. In essence, they were saying they ain't want no Latinos eating out of their restaurant. And so all the Latinos stopped eating out of their restaurant, and now they getting loans to keep the damn doors open. And meanwhile, that place was famous.
Good night.
You know what I mean? And not only that, I bet you there's a Latino cheesesteak spot that's making a king's ransom right now that you don't know nothing about. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's going to happen, and it is going to be the natural progression of the oppression and of the whole society falling apart, man. Salakia.
Kind of.
Go ahead, Kapan.
Oh, Salakia, I was going to say, what you're saying is so heavy out of one about the natural progression that yesterday they had a reopening of a MLK Center. And us and the brothers were there, the ribbon cutting ceremony. But while we were there, they the workers there, and even it was a lot of devils there. I guess they're donors and this and that. The whole building were treating us like we were some type of like future royalty, or you know, like like they were looking at us in holding us in high esteem and high regard by the way they were looking at us. You know, they're trying to help the black youth and things like that. And they see us there and they like, even before we left, a devil that was one of the main workers was saying, thank you guys for coming. Thank you for coming here. Thank you, this, that. And, you know, like you said, the natural progression is for us to come back to something something black, something other than what we're used to, other than McDonald's, other than the corporate, other than the whitewashed crap. We just thirsty for something other than that. And I think I felt that at the event, that people was just like, you know, like they was thirsty for us.
Right.
And I'm gonna hit you with something else. And we that are awake in this truth, we're gonna be thirsty for each other's tribes.
Right.
That's right.
Like we're gonna be, it's gonna be like, yo, what y'all eating tonight? Man, we thinking about going Haitian tonight. What? Yeah, man, the brothers got a spot down in so-and-so. And we gonna be going, it's gonna get crazy. And once again, the Lord said we the salt of the earth.
Right.
Like it's gonna be a problem in this planet when them 12 tribes start bubbling with each other.
Right.
It's gonna be a problem because they're gonna be bubbling and building and bubbling and working together. And brother, and once again, that devil saw y'all and he knew something. This is what he knew. Let me tell you what went through his mind. Now he's some kind of Edomite that been taught to, you know, be a humanitarian and help people and all that. You understand? So that's his mission in life. That's what he get paid to do. But he also knows what it takes to do it. He knows it takes a strong body of black men, Latino men, Native Indian men, Haitian men, West Indian men to go in and fix the situation. And so he, in his ignorant mind, is hoping that that you are ignorant enough to be pro-black and pro-helping black people, but be open to get up under some Edomite and have him be your leader to do whatever he got to do. Because once again, it's having a body of blacks or Latinos under these people it's like heaven to them.
Yeah.
Anything they want to get done gets done.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And they know it and love it and feel great about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They want to build a house. They got a group of Latinos. They know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
They got to deal with some hostilities and they got a group of black men up under them. They know it's going to happen.
That's right.
You understand? And so that's what he's seeing. He's seeing that and he knows that's what it takes. In his mind, he already has been doing this a while and examining it, and he knows, boy, oh boy, if I had a good body of black men under me, I could do anything.
Yeah.
Get it done and all that. But he don't know. It ain't gonna include, it's gonna get done, but it ain't gonna include his ass. You know what I mean?
Right.
Damn right.
So great job, Kapash, man. Damn right. Kapash holding it down up in there, man. And represent and that too. Seeing y'all discipline, seeing the spirit y'all rolling in. They ain't slow. Edomites ain't slow. We might not look at it because we in it and we among us. We don't look at it as big, and we've been doing it for years. But them Edomites see you, see that you discipline, you organize, see that you ain't a clown, see it ain't no simpleness going on with you. Man, they look at you, man, and be like, man, these cats got it together.
Yeah.
What's their agenda? You know what I'm saying? He saw that on you, and that's what made him so daggone thankful. Well, other groups gonna call, black groups gonna call, especially them old black women that's trying to do some old Christian stuff, but they ain't got a single man out that church to come help because, of course, they got nothing but sodomites sitting in there. They're gonna come across you, brother, and they gonna think you maple syrup. They're gonna want to pour you all over their situation so that they could, not that situation, but the situation they got. Well, that situation. I didn't mean to go there on you. Meaning they gonna try to, you know, get you in on whatever it is that they doing because they're gonna see that you have the discipline and the force to get it done. You know what I mean? But what's gonna happen eventually is they're gonna begin to see that not only do you have it together, but that the agenda of the Lord is right as well. And that's when they're gonna make the transition into the truth from them churches, man.
God, and if I could add one more thing, General, because what you said was so heavy, it's just like brightening me up. You said how we're gonna start clicking. The tribe's gonna start clicking. Today, when we did the dog show, we have a new neighbor that moved next to the school, I.S.U.P.K family, and the I.S.U.P.K brother. And so we asked we could use his grass to park some cars for the people. He said, yeah. But then he was like, my lawnmower broke. Can I use your lawnmower? I'm like, yeah, perfect. Great. Go ahead and get it cut. So we starting the event, you know, and I say, hey, come on over, you know. I tell him, come over, you know, come over and kick it for a while. He didn't leave the event. He stayed the whole time of the event. Start meshing with the brothers, start kicking it with other people in the world, eating the chicken that was on the barbecue grill, and just becoming. I'll show you the pictures. He just like one of us. He got some camera on. He just like joined us, you know, just like, you know, organically, you know, with little effort. Like I didn't have to say, come on. I was like, hey, come on, see what we about. He just didn't even leave the school. He just chilled over here, and it was mostly Jake. And he was the only I.S.U.P.K, but it just fell. Then he said at the end, next time, let me know ahead of time. I could tell my rest of my friends to come. I tell my rest of my people to come. And I already know, you know how they get down. They gonna party all night. Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
So what you said?
I hear stories like that. Don't tell me about joining no damn Hamites, man. They ain't suffered what I suffered. They ain't grow up in the trench with me. I grew up in the Bronx, man, with Ephraim living next door to me, man. You understand? And when I was down, Ephraim had some rice and beans for me and gave it to me freely. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't tell me about you Africa this and all that. Them Africans come over here and don't mess with us at all. You understand? But our Latino brothers, they from the bloodline, man. And they fall, and that thing just comes together. Our Levite brothers, all of that just comes together, man. And that is Esau's greatest fear right there. What you just did out there. And who knew? Who knew? Next time he may bring his boys, people gonna come in the truth. Who knew? You know what I mean? But like you saying, them tribes, they gonna come together, and it's gonna be a problem. They gonna work together. We don't need nobody to trade with. We gonna trade with each other. We don't need nobody for all the different aspects of our world. We gonna do it with all the tribes. It's going to be a government and a power like the likes of they have never seen in this world, man. You know what I mean? You think they like the celebrities in Hollywood. Wait till they see the celebrities that rule the world under Christ. Remember, the Queen of Sheba saw Solomon's servant and thought he was the king. So what about Christ's servants in the kingdom of heaven? They gonna see them and think they are a god. You know what I'm saying? Like that's gonna be deep in that day.
Like what he was saying, if I could just get a story what happened today at camp with us, like how you was talking about, you know, eventually the sisters gonna see, like we breaking down the camp and brothers walking back to the van, a couple brothers going to get the van, and then there's this group of sisters, about 5 or 6 of them, they're just walking up and down, they're looking for something to do. So they walk past the brothers by the van and they say, what's going on, brothers? Can we get in? So the brother turned to the one who said it and said, sis, you had to qualify to get in here. So she stopped and she said, you mean to tell me a group of bad bees like us offering to give you company and you turn it down? The brother turned to her and said, let me explain something, sis. We are the prize in this time, not you. So she stopped in her tracks. She stopped and she looked up and she turned around and she said, that's right, black man. That's right. I could get with that. Because she came back to the table. What she tell me?
So Loggy, she came back to the table and I asked her, sis, did you get a flyer? Let me grab you a flyer. She's like, is the after what he just said? She's like, I need a flyer.
Yeah.
She was like,
just like that. When I heard it, listen, when he told me that part, I was like, these sisters is really fronting out here with these sodomites.
Yes.
And they really need to be put in check on that type of that and that masculinity, the righteous masculinity from the Lord. Like that thing there, you weak under some Christian or you watching them, you watching Will Smith, you gonna let her in the damn car and she ruin you in 10 years. But on the spot, you could make her understand that you could work to a position.
Right. And if I could, she know that her beauty usually could get her in the car. That's why she said it. But she's so thankful that finally there's somebody with enough strength and morals to actually not just lust after her body.
Right.
He's actually willing to tell her, yo, you can't do this. You gotta, put her in the right perspective. that's probably such a breath of fresh air for her. You know what I mean? Because if they was very attractive, they probably getting hit on every 6 times a block.
Yeah.
Every block, six times they getting hit on. So it probably was refreshing for them to have somebody that, you know, carry themselves with such a standard that they can't just run all over them. You know what I mean? And finally find some brothers that could actually add something to them, add some morals to them. And so that was beautiful, man. And once again, let me tell you something. That's the future. Like you brought out, Kapash, emotional intelligence, man. You understand? I really understanding how your emotions are supposed to work with your body. In this place, it doesn't, you are not taught that. Right. You understand? Which is why our emotions is out of whack, and men chasing men and women chasing women, women ruling over men, and men dressing up like women. Right. Like that's not emotional intelligence, man. And we learning through these scriptures to put that intelligence back in us, and it's gonna do so much for these sisters, man. Every sister out here don't want to be a half-naked hoe, but she putting it on because she think that's all she's supposed to do, because that's the only way she gonna get a decent man. Right. You know what I mean? But deep down inside, she feeling like, where are the real men at? Where are the real brothers at? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? She going along with what her girlfriends go along with because she think that's what she got to do to get a brother, but would prefer a brother in many cases that would deal with her in a decent way. If that wasn't true, you wouldn't have seen all them thousands of women sitting in the Passover, married to all them thousands of brothers. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I guess we got to get the hell up out of here, huh? We just running on and running the time up. You know what I'm saying? So lock you.
I don't know if you want to add them 2 DC stories. If you want the shooter, I know you heard about the DC shooter.
Not this late, man. We better get out of here, man. I heard about that DC shooter, but we got to save that, man.
Let them know they were scared for about 6 hours behind him.
Good night. Yeah, man. Put the terror dome on him. But yeah, I mean, y'all want to go 10 minutes and just do that story, wrap it up at 12?
We could wrap it. So it's for a while, but definitely it's gonna be in the news all over.
Okay.
Another one with the brother killed the sister after she killed the baby. Yo, we can send out all this. It's a rough.
Yeah, man, we got a lot. Eventually, this might end up being every night. There's so much stories, so many things coming out. You know what I mean? Hey, man, Tawada for inviting me, man. It's always a pleasure, man, rolling with you heavy hitters up here, man, in this zone every week like you do. Join us, man, ISUPK.com every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, 9 p.m. until right here on this same station. I'm Commander General Yohanna. I want to thank all the captains for coming out tonight, man. We'll see y'all next time on the Black Watch is Not True. So, Shalom, brother. Shalom, brother.